We're back. It's a new year. We're still dumb as shit. But we're here to bring you the latest, greatest, hard hitting news of 2026.
Yes, and this year we're starting off with a correction of an F1 aerodynamics explanation.
Yeah, so, okay. So here's the thing, folks. I made a little oops in my explanation. My bad, gang. When I was explaining how Formula One cars function, their design philosophies, aerodynamic versus ground effect cars, I omitted a key detail. If you've ever looked at a Formula One car and thought, this thing looks goofy as hell, that's because they are designed to be aerodynamic.
Well, yeah, because they're literally designed in a wind tunnel.
Yes, they are literally designed to be the most aerodynamically efficient vehicles ever. That's why they have like weird grooves and pods and stuff like that, right? It's all to have air flow around the car.
Yeah, like this is essentially, if they were ever made road legal, this is where aerodynamics would take us.
There is actually a car that exists that like
is road legal. Isn't that the Bach Mono or whatever it's called? It's been around for a while.
No, that's technically that'd be like a track toy.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
Red Bull's car. Red Bull designed their own car. It's called the RB17. You can look it up.
I'm actually going to.
It was part of Adrian Newey's contract deal with Red Bull to be an aerodynamicist.
R17, you call
for
it?
them.
RB. The hypercar.
It's extremely swoopy, and it's basically what the road.
I hate that that's a viable explanation, but you're right. Holy shit!
It's the road going evolution for Formula One aerodynamics. That's how, if that technology ever translates across, that's what it'll look like. And it was designed to be like the pinnacle of a road car. It's they're extremely impressive.
Hi, Dad. You keep talking about that. I'm just gonna show it on screen here for people to see because that is actually really fucking cool.
Yeah, it's dope as shit. Adrian Newey is the greatest aerodynamicist to ever live. He's developed a ton of rad Formula One cars. All of the most successful F1 cars to ever exist, with the exception of the Mercedes of like the mid 2010s, he designed. Where my explanation was wrong.
Yeah, that's the car for everybody who's interested.
Is in wings. Okay. So I explained that a wing is an aerodynamic element, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But they do not generate, like, my explanation, the more I thought about it, was technically correct, but I failed to break it down in a way that made sense.
Yeah, you missed a few key details.
Wings are air elements, but the car is designed to be aerodynamic. The floor takes priority in a ground effect car. We maintain aerodynamics, even if it's ground effect.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest oopsie whoopsie of my explanation. And we can move on. I was wrong. That's my bad. I apologize to the folks at home that relied on me for their hard-hitting Formula One information. But CES has been going on, and I have found a couple of things that I want to talk about. In CES is a consumer electronics show in Las Vegas. It's an industry show where like every company comes out, they showcase like the latest and greatest of what they've been developing.
Right.
Lots of the times what you end up seeing are like Skunkworks projects. It's them showing that they can do it. Most commonly, NVIDIA and AMD reveal their new GPUs at CES every year. This year, on that note, actually, NVIDIA confirmed that there will not be another new graphics card generation this year. They're taking a couple of years. They've announced that they have a new architecture frame for their cards.
But they're going to take some time to develop it.
Yeah, we're not getting the 60 series or like the 55 series, I mean, like whatever they're going to call the next gen.
Let's be honest, graphics have already been kind of at a like nominally peak moment ever since the fucking 3050, you know?
So that is, I think, mostly true. The big issue with graphics cards is that they aren't innovating enough. Like the last big generational leap was 20 to 30 series.
Right,
And
yeah.
that was a big horsepower jump.
Yeah.
But 30 series cards are still very capable.
Right,
But
yeah.
like they weren't so much better that like an old card, like they were better to a point with like an old card would show its age in comparison.
Well, yeah,
But the
like
40
I looked in mine
series,
here, and for example, I'm running the GeForce 3060, the RTX, and I've
yeah,
had zero problems.
yeah, and they're good cards. I had a 3070 Ti. It was very good. I ran it for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I just upgraded to a 50 series because I was having issues in like the really big games that are overtly graphically intensive, and
Hmm.
I like using stuff like DLSS, and the 50 series cards are
Right.
engineered to optimize that technology.
Hmm.
And it's I have qualms with that too because it's like it's all AI tech, but it is a good card. It does have more horsepower than my 5080 or my 3070 did. Um, it's got more video memory, which was a big thing. Is like I was hitting the bottleneck on video memory all the time.
Yeah.
So like, I do like my 50 series card. It's been very good. And for what I paid for it right before the great memory fiasco, um, that probably isn't going to end anytime soon. I think I did pretty good buying it when I did. So I have two pieces of technology that I want to talk about, and I think both of them would interest you. And one of them is really just kind of a conversation piece because I don't actually care about the technology behind it.
Okay.
So the first one I sent you a note about earlier as just like a topic line, and that's Corsair's new keyboard.
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Corsair is going to be releasing this year. Um, it's called the Galleon 100 SD,
Yeah. Okay.
and it is a fully mechanical gaming keyboard with an integrated Stream Deck.
Oh.
Because Corsair owns Elgato,
Right.
and Elgato makes the Stream Deck. So it's not, it doesn't have a number pad as far as it's I'm not paying for a Verge subscription. Anyways, I'll just read what I can see. It doesn't have a number pad, so it's just your standard keyboard array,
On. I
arrows,
can
delete, home page, page up, page down. You
I
can
can bring this
buy
up again.
number pads. Um,
Okay,
but
so
where the number pad would be is now a programmable Stream Deck. And it's going to come out sometime later this year.
you said it was the K70?
The Galleon 100
Oh,
SD.
Gallant. Right.
Galleon like the ship.
Yep.
And it's really cool. Like the switches they're using are very advanced.
Oh, damn.
Like, and it looks really good. I'm not a Corsair guy.
That is
like I'm a Logitech guy kind of through and through.
that is
But
pretty to look at.
I like the little display it has to showcase what the Stream Deck is currently
Yeah.
interacting with. So like Spotify, you can Stream Decks, you can program macros in them.
Hmm.
So like it was really
For
common when
everybody who's
Helldivers 2 came
interested,
out.
this is what that keyboard looks like. Why I didn't. There we go.
Yeah. It was really common when Helldivers 2 came out that people that had the ability to would program macro commands into their keyboard in
Right.
order to automate the process of stratagems.
Right.
Like I did it, and then they made a patch where that kind of broke it.
Mhm.
And then I just deleted all my macros because I got fast enough to the point where I didn't need them. And then I stopped playing Helldivers 2, and I suck at doing stratagems again.
That's see for me,
But
the stratagems have always been pattern recognition, so I've never really struggled with that. As
Yeah,
Rookie
pretty
found
much.
out when I completely blew his record on the stratagem arcade game out of the water without even trying.
Yeah, it's
I made him very sad.
like I think as a keyboard for people that stream
Mhm.
or like want to get into streaming, it's really good because like if you have like a beginner setup, like you've just gotten into PC gaming and you're like, I kind of want to stream.
Right.
Stream decks as a standalone piece of equipment are extremely expensive. Like I know one person that has one, and when I asked him about it, he was like, I wouldn't necessarily recommend buying one. So it's cool that you can like it's an expensive keyboard. It's gonna start at $350 US. which when adjusted for inflation is about 500 Canadian dollars, which is about what a Stream Deck costs. Like the keyboard is
Yeah.
basically free. You get the Stream Deck, and to be fair, a regular Stream Deck is 16 buttons. Plus, it has a tabbable page system. Whereas, like, I think the keyboard won't have that, but it has lots of interesting features, and I think it'll be
Right.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
when this keyboard eventually kicks the bucket, because it's relatively new, I might buy one. Just because, like, the Stream Deck has stuff that I do like about it that I
Mhm.
wish I could use. I'm not a full-time streamer, so it lacks full practicality to me. But like for somebody like you, if you were like, man, my keyboard just kicked it, and I have a decent amount of money kicking around, like
Right.
that's not a bad way to spend it. I think like it's a
No.
solid investment.
No.
It's better than buying a full mechanical because you can spend a lot of money on a mechanical keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
and the switches that they use in that keyboard are not cheap. Like
No.
most mechanical keyboards use an MX Cherry or an MX Brown, and that's like the kind of industry standard on mechanical switches.
Right.
And those are using, I think they're like MLX hyperpresses or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
No.
high
I
dollar
no.
switch.
No. I think it's the MLX Pulse switch.
Yes.
With
right, the MLX Pulse.
I believe something like that would also have to have a hot swap support.
Most mechanical switches have a hot swap support.
Yeah.
Because it's the circuit underneath the switch that tells the keyboard like where home is.
Yeah.
A switch is just a normally open contact.
Yeah.
But
I imagine
that's
with
cool.
something like that though, they'd probably have to have some sort of like a gasket system underneath the keys so that it's not completely obnoxiously like loud when typing on it. Because I know Corsair likes to kind of pride themselves on like sound dampening so that their keyboards don't sound like a fucking, it's something from NASA kind of thing.
Yeah, they're really good at kind of like the fit and finish of a product.
Yeah.
Like I like a loud mechanical keyboard
Mhm.
because I like this because it it just hits the right way in my brain. I like the sound of it clicking.
Yeah.
So that's a piece of technology that I've brought to the table. One piece of technology two. LG has unveiled
Mm-hmm.
their new OLED monitors.
Okay.
They are the GX7 series. They can switch between 720 hertz and 540 hertz refresh rates. They are.
What was it called? The OLED
It's the LG GX7.
GX. I typed in GLX.
And it's a fourth generation W OLED panel, which I think the W is like white or something. It's I can't remember what the acronym is. I'm
Right.
not that big into technology.
Right.
I just like following. I just like CES. It's
Right.
a 27-inch panel.
Okay.
It's extremely bright. It'll do 335 nits of typical brightness. It's
Okay.
got a sub 1 millisecond response time. It does DisplayPort 2.1, G-Sync, FreeSync Premium.
Yeah, it looks like
and-
240 hertz at 0.03 milliseconds.
Yes.
That's
It'll do
that's
True Black.
insanely impressive.
Yeah. It's a cool piece of tech. So it'll do 540 hertz in 1440p. And the only way you can get 720 is if you drop the resolution to 720p.
Yeah.
This is a topic that comes up a lot in my household in the office. There are 4 identical displays right there. And then I have 2 mismatched displays. I have a 1440 monitor that I play games on. I have a 1080 monitor. They're both the same refresh rate.
Right.
It's just a resolution thing. I like playing games with 1440. They look a little prettier.
Right. I'm just putting
My monitors are 165 hertz.
Yeah.
Their monitors, I want to say, are 144 or 120. One roommate and I play our games at 144 frames per second.
Right.
Our other roommate likes to lower the frame rate as much as possible. And that's just a preference thing. She likes to have it be slow, and that's cool. Like, I'm not going to knock on that preference. it baffles me sometimes, and we've had long discussions about it. But like generally, she plays in a like 24 to 60 frames per second window, which is valid. And the argument that usually is made is, what's the point of having a higher refresh rate? And she's dead right for that. So like this panel, yeah, sure, you could play it at 540 hertz, but you might as well just play it at 240 and get the response time.
Right. Yeah.
And the good and the resolution to support it. Because the faster you push a panel, the more it deteriorates over time.
Yeah.
Like the monitor I have at work is capable of 175 hertz because it was a Acer Walmart special that I bought.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that. Like it's set at like 120 and it's fine. And it's
Right.
a 1080p
Kind of like
monitor. Like
the
it's
standard. Yeah.
the thing about it is, so the science dictates the human eye cannot actually see any faster than what would be 24 hertz. The human eye registers in 24 frames per second. Refresh rates up between 60 and 165 are more visually pleasing because there's more information for the brain to extrapolate within that 24 frames per second. So it looks smoother. Like if you ever watch a movie on a TV that displays at 60 hertz or 100, and like there are TVs that'll do 90, a piece of media that is like actually recorded at that refresh rate looks bizarre in comparison to another piece. Like if you watch a comedy special, because most of them are actually recorded in 60 frames per second digitally, and then they're mastered for home viewing at 24 frames per second. But the masters like that Netflix has are in 60 frames per second. So they walk weird, and like the movements seem alien because of how much faster it's playing. Most people are used to 60 hertz because that's like the universal standard for computer monitors since like 1998 or something like that, has been 60 frames per second.
Right.
But like the argument comes up a lot here. It's like, what's the point? It's not like you can actually tell. And even in esports, there's the percentage of people that can actually utilize the advantage that would be given to them by a 240 hertz monitor over a 144 is like 0.001%. Like it's pointless. It's like, it's cool that they've come up with a monitor that does that, but like, why not just work on making the technology in the monitors that people are like, because it's $1,000 US to start. Why? Like I can't imagine that there's that much of a demand for that style of a panel. Like TVs now are pretty complicated pieces of technology, and as TVs have gotten more advanced, they've gotten cheaper with very few exceptions. And those exceptions are generally in like Samsung and LG, where they're changing. Like, do you remember when quantum dot LED monitor TVs came out? Do you know what that is? Have you ever witnessed that in the wild?
Quantum dot?
Yes.
I probably saw them.
LEDs are light emitting diodes, will display color in the red, green, blue gamut. A quantum dot TV displays in yellow. It adds a fourth color. That's why it's called quantum, because quantum computing adds 2 to 1s and 0s. The language of a computer is binary, and computers think in 1s and 0s. So quantum computing is 0, 1, 2.
Right.
It's the addition of a qubit. Quantum dot TVs display color in yellow, so they're able to provide a more vivid image through that fourth color addition. When those came out, you could get a 42-inch quantum dot flat screen TV. At the time was like $750. 2 years later, they were like, we renamed the technology, became OLED. And OLED also refers to like the vibrancy of the color spectrum. Like OLED displays can show black,
Right.
like black, actual black. Um, so like 3 years after those came out, those TVs are suddenly worth like $350, which is like an achievable price. Like TV technology advances, and then as it advances, like the last iteration always gets cheaper. With monitors, that never seems to be the case. And I have to assume it's because like nobody cares enough to be like, yeah, hey, by the way, we made a 144 hertz monitor that displays OLED 1440. That's just what it does. We're talking about CES, Rookie. So that's kind of like my last bit about that. Is like, it's cool, but why bother? And then I did a bunch of digging for like more stuff at CES, and it really showcases the way the world is going. That like everything there is like, say hello to the new artificial intelligence tool you need in your home.
Yeah.
No. You know what I mean? No.
It's only gonna get worse. That's
Security companies are coming out with AI tools that will lock your doors and shut your garage when they detect someone that isn't you. I don't want AI to know what I look like.
I don't.
I understand that it does, but I don't want it to.
Here's the thing though with that concept. Just like every other fucking security measure or facial recognition system that has gone wrong, I don't want to be locked out of my fucking house when I come home because my camera picked up a fucking squirrel that ran by my garage door. You know?
Yeah. So, like, and like, there's a lot of really niche technology that, like, some of it I don't vibe with just on, like, the basis for which your privacy could be invaded. There's a headset that I think it wasn't Sony. Was it Logitech? No, it might have been Corsair. It has cameras in the side.
That wasn't. No, that wouldn't have been Turtle Beach.
No, it was some like Razoo headset. I don't think it was Corsair either. I think it was some other company. But like that's the gimmick. It's a 7.1 surround sound headset, which you know what? That's rad. I love 7.1 surround. Like I would pay big bucks for a Dolby Atmos headset, like true Atmos, which is 360-degree surround sound. Like movie theater level surround sound.
Right.
Hard to accomplish. Not many people can. Um, so but the headset with, and I can't remember the article completely, but I want to say the justification was it was Bluetooth.
It's
it
a
would pair to your
Kickstarter.
computer. Yeah, that's what it was.
Vibelens Music Cam. It's a $400
Yeah.
launch on Kickstarter.
So I think the idea was the cameras in the ears were supposed to see beside you.
Yeah.
So it would tell you if there was somebody there.
It's being proposed by Camera Buds, who, for anybody who knows, Camera Buds is owned by Meta, Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So, I did. So the AI stuff was excessive. There was some cool stuff that came out. Segway's making an e-bike. That's apparently going to be rather streamlined. AMD announced that they're building a microcomputer.
Mm-hmm.
Asus announced they've come out with a new series of routers that will be capable of dealing with Wi-Fi 8, which is hilarious because most people are still on Wi-Fi 5.
Right.
Razer is now going to be making computers for AI developers. It is Razer's AI wearable headset with built-in cameras. They announced it as a concept based on the Razer Barracudas.
Right.
And it has built-in camera lenses in the ear cups. Why? And it's supposed to capture things around you. so that people, the idea is it's going to use AI to identify when someone's talking to you and play that sound for you. Well, tap me on the shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what? The technology for getting someone's attention when they're wearing headphones has been around for thousands of years.
Oh, yeah.
It's called human contact.
Yeah, even before
Um,
headphones were a thing, it's just like, hey, I need your attention for a second, please.
Razer also showed off what they're calling Project Ava, which is an AI anime waifu hologram for your desk
Oh,
that
god damn it.
tells you how to play video games. So that'd be really good for you, Will, because you're bad at them. I'm
So in
just
other
kidding.
words, we're all getting our own Cortana, which could
Yeah,
potentially go
but
very wrong.
I want her in my head.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to talk
Um,
to Elon for that one when he creates those brain chips.
there was some cool things. Razer announced a controller that will let Rookie finally beat us in Garfield Kart. That has like some really high fidelity joysticks. And it uses low latency Bluetooth.
Yeah,
So
but here's the
it's
problem with
supposed.
that though. It won't help him if we also get it.
Rookie wants Cortana in his bed. Yeah, he knows. You know what, my boy? That's valid.
Which version
Sometimes you gotta
though?
know what you're about.
You want Cortana from Halo 1, 2, Halo 5?
5.
5? You want the homicidal maniac?
Yeah. Listen, if you had seen my Tinder feed, you'd know what I was about.
God damn it, yeah.
Halo 3 does have the hottest Cortana. Halo 2 Anniversary from Master Chief Collection's Cortana is actually the one that I want. Tell me I'm wrong, Rookie. Go back,
That's
play Halo
valid.
2 in the Master Chief Collection.
That's
Look at those
valid.
cutscenes.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, they didn't try to hide anything.
You don't remember. You know what that means, Rookie? It's a perfect time to go back and play Halo 2. So, anyways, lots of this stuff is like some of it genuine technological advancement. Dell announced it's a new 4K OLED monitor that's supposed to display true 10-bit color.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If you got $2,600 could be yours. Dell also made a 52-inch 6K Thunderbolt display. Thunderbolt is the interface system that Apple has like famously tried to pioneer.
Right.
There's some new like power solutions stuff. Like UPSs, I think are actually really important. Klipsch, who are like a speaker headphone manufacturer, are making new hi-fi headphones again.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some cool like SSD smartphone hubs, like portable. You know what I mean? Like plug me in to the Matrix. They're
Are you talking about like
external storage drives using SSDs based technology, and they're like wicked small. SanDisk actually came out with what effectively looks to be like an SD card that is a 1 terabyte SSD.
oh.
Yeah, it's rad. They also announced a USB version of the same thing. It's so cool. Like some of the technology is rad. Some of it's like, why is this AI? Like, and why are we teaching the robots that clean the floors how to rise up edges? Because if my Roomba can climb a stair, next thing it's going to be climbing my bed and killing me in my sleep. Everybody put on your tinfoil hats. Welcome to Conspiracy Hour. I'm kidding. We're not doing that this time.
The vault on the moon ever expands, didn't you know?
Yeah. And there's some other cool stuff. Like Asus came out with a new ZenBook, which is going to be really cool. Like, I'm a big fan of really form factor compatible laptops because like laptops as a technology are kind of bulky, and I don't use laptops to play games, so I don't need like a hefty gaming laptop. I like using laptops for work, so something that can just do basic processes
Right.
that doesn't weigh 5 pounds is cool. Otherwise, I gotta keep lugging around my IBM ThinkPad from 1983.
Mm-hmm.
That thing's heavy as hell. It's a briefcase, brother. Um, so that's kind of all I've got from CES. There was some cool stuff. I highly advise, like, The Verge has a live feed of all of the articles they're putting out over
Mm-hmm.
all of the technologies. The last thing I want to talk about, I got to actually use one, not the same style, but a similar vein. My buddy bought the they're not the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, but they're another form of like smart glasses with the built-in camera and the speakers that use like bone conductivity speakers.
Right.
That is the coolest thing I've ever used in my life. The thing I love about them is that you can get prescription lenses for them.
Okay.
Do you remember Google Glass?
Yeah.
Like, hey Google, how do I not get made fun of for wearing Google Glass? Um, the like augmented reality glasses are coming back. They're calling them extended reality glasses. Asus is making a pair. And like I think Ray-Ban really should get a lot of credit for this because they brought that technology back in a form factor that people want, because now we don't look like Data, or not Data, not Riker. I can't remember the character from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
got like
Yeah.
he's got
See,
like the John B
see,
sunglasses.
for me, I went to Scott Summers, Cyclops.
Yes, that same deal. So you don't, Jordy, you don't look like a nerd for wearing them. Asus is building them as an extended reality device that's supposed to pair to your phone,
Okay.
and they're going to be 200. The idea is, the prototype that they showed is they'll be 240 hertz displays. It will also have like the camera and the conductive speaker systems built into them. Listen, Ricky, that's why we love having you in the chat. Geordi LaForge is the Star Trek Next Generation's character I was thinking of. Thank you very much for that. I'm not a Star Trek guy, so unfortunately I was never going to find that name on my own.
Honestly, I found Star Trek
Um,
way too boring. Too much talking.
that is kind of the point.
And I get it, but I couldn't.
Okay, bye, Ricky. So
Okay, bye.
I do look forward to that technology because, like, while I think we're getting a little carried away with the volume of screens with which we're willing to have at all times,
Mm-hmm.
and like, I was worse at one point, and I think I've gotten a little bit better. Granted, I will literally, when I'm not doing anything, I get home from work, I will sit down at my desk and I will throw like a podcast up, an anime up, I'll have music playing, and I'll be reading something on my phone for hours. Like, because I have a really good ability to intake information. The problem is sorting it out once it's in my head, which I'm
Right.
bad at, which is why I need Cortana. Um, but I like the idea that I could get a pair of glasses, and while I'm working on something, be like pulling up something to help me, like a schematic or a video where somebody else is doing it.
Right.
Because you've been there, you're a car guy, you're trying to figure out how to do something you legitimately don't know how to do, and you can't figure it out. And now you're trying to find a YouTube video, and you have to stop, walk away from what you're doing, sit down, scroll through YouTube to find the first video that isn't in 240p so that you can see what they're doing. And you have to sit there and scroll through the video, like, okay, that's where I'm at. Pause the video, walk back to what you were doing, do that one thing. It's like, okay, what do I do next? Back to the video. And like, I don't like using my phone for that. I like using a computer, so I have a big image and I don't have to sit there like squinting at my phone, like, what's that say? So like an augmented reality style glasses that I could get like my prescription for and be able to use as an aid for when I'm doing stuff would be nice. Also,
The
I really want a
downside
pair
to
of those
that,
glasses
though,
because I want the camera,
the
so I
da-
can record what I'm doing, and like, because I only got two hands, brother.
right.
I never know what I'm supposed to do with them.
The downside
Um,
to that idea, though, is who, like, I don't know about you, but who in the chat remembers the movie Spy from the 90s with Chris Rock,
yeah.
Chris Tucker and,
Mm-hmm.
oh, fuck, it wasn't Jackie Chan, was it? Because that was Rush Hour with him.
That was Rush Hour.
But you know
Um,
what movie I'm talking about, though, where each one of them had a, like, contact lens so that one of their eyes could always see what the other was doing. And Chris Tucker's partner got, was it Chris Tucker or was it was it Eddie Murphy? Actually, now that I think about it. Either way, one of them got into a fight with like multiple people while the one guy was in the boxing ring, and he could see his partner having a fight, and it disoriented him so badly that he started swinging at everybody else he thought he was seeing in front of me because his reality was getting distorted, and people thought he was having like a psychotic breakdown in the middle of the ring because he was in the middle of a match. His opponent backed off, and he was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, that's what I'm afraid is going to happen because people already don't have enough attention span to even walk down the sidewalk for 5 minutes without having their phone in their hands. And that
so
causes a big amount of problems in everyday life for people. And this is just going to make it worse.
I do think that's valid, 100%. Um, so I have a story about that actually, and this is where I kind of realized my limit. So when I'm on the road, in like road trip to the track, or um, like I'm driving somewhere for work, I like listening to music or podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of the podcasts I like have a visual aspect to them. So I bought one of those auto linkers. And an auto linker, for the people at home who don't know, is basically it's a screen mirroring device
Mm-hmm.
that plugs into a vehicle with a display, and it turns that display into a TV. And they really only work with vehicles with touchscreens in them because you use the touchscreen as your interface.
Right.
So I bought one, and in my truck I have a 13-inch touchscreen right in the center console. Driving to Winnipeg, I probably almost died a couple of times. Like, put her in the ditch
Because you
at
were
speed.
focusing on the screen.
Because when I would play an episode of a podcast on my phone, I would put it up on a cubby I have in my dash, which is really hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
So I would know I'm not actually going to be able to see it. Or if it was something that I was actively watching, I would put it on my gauge cluster, like, because I'm cruise controlling down the highway.
Right.
And the truck has lane keep assist, so like I could drive and then look down when they said something, see what was happening, and look back up at the road. Still distracted driving, still very illegal, but it was in a way that like I wasn't endangering myself and the people on the road. When you turn the center console of your truck into a 7-inch television, what ends up happening, I learned, was like, so I'm gonna back up a little bit. So hand on the wheel like this. My console's right here, and I
Mm-hmm.
have like a nice little center console that sits
Yeah.
about this high up, and I just
I kind of figured. Yeah, you lean right over.
you lean over and you're watching it, and then every once in a while you'd look up because the steering wheel starts to rumble because you're just about to put it in the tulips, and you oh shit, back into the lane, please. The problem with that is it's Canadian winter. The truck's in two-wheel drive because I'm flying down the highway. And if you
Right.
twitch that wheel back too fast, now you're backwards, upside down, and in the ditch.
Yeah.
And the thing that the cops are going to see when they pull up to investigate the accident is the little Android Auto screen mirroring device that's plugged into the Android Auto capable device. So a buddy of mine really wanted one, and he missed his chance to order it because like I bought mine with a friend. We bought them two for that was like 70% off if you bought two. So I paid like $130 for this thing. It's like a $300 piece of technology. And I just looked at him. I was like, he was like, yeah, how was it? And I was like, you know what? It was really cool, and I value the experience it gave me. You want to buy it for $100?
But I value my life more.
And he was like, what? And I was like, it's not that I couldn't ignore it. It's that like I didn't want to ignore it because I was like, well, I have the video. It's right there. I can just watch it. I'm barely looking away from the road.
Yeah.
Because like kind of rules is written following the law, that screen doesn't count as distracted driving.
Right.
Your phone does. So you're circumventing a gray area in the distracted driving laws, and I was like, I can't use that.
Yeah.
It's dangerous for me to have that ability to watch a TV show in a moving vehicle that weighs a lot.
See, that's why
I do encourage Canadian lawmakers, if you're listening to this, put out a ban on all devices that turn automotive displays into television sets, because it's not good for, or don't. And then the problem will eliminate itself. But like, we have warning labels for everything Christ. Now. So it's not a good idea. I value the information it gave me. And if he still
highway accident percentages are up, everybody.
Yeah. He hasn't paid me for it, so I haven't given it to him yet. If he doesn't end up buying it, I probably will end up using it again, but not for this. Like, I downloaded Crunchyroll on this thing.
Right.
It uses an Android OS. I can absolutely watch anime on it. My Crunchyroll is signed into it right now. My Pepperbox is signed into it. My Netflix account is signed into it. But because it runs on Android, any Android app will function with it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll probably end up doing if I keep it is I'm going to delete Crunchyroll. I'll keep Pepperbox for the podcasts, but I'm probably just going to download F1 TV, because then I can watch.
That's
fair. I can have it play on my way to and from work, which is a controlled circuit that I drive every day.
The thing
I know
I like about not having like a digital center console like that, or dash console, is the fact that not only do I not have that problem, but my car, it's 2013, it's, you know, quite a bit old at this point, 13 years now, and if you plug in the aux cord, it plays all sounds through the speakers, right? So what I'll do, because I'll show you on the webcam here, I have a phone that has a flap that closes it so you can't see the screen. It's like a wallet case. I like these because then you don't get distracted by the screen, even if you have the Google Maps up, especially if you're easily distracted. So what I do is I will plug in the aux cord before I start moving, and I will press play on like a movie or something, like a movie I've seen a lot but really enjoy. So like I'll put on the Warcraft movie, or I'll put on fucking Big Hero 6 or Wall-E or something, because usually I have Tegan in the car with me, right? And if we're going on the highway, that is what we are listening to, because we know the movie. Me and Tegan have active imaginations, so we see the scenes of the movie playing through our head because we've seen the movie so much. We're not distracted anymore by, you know, lines of sight that are anything but the road. And because I have that sound to associate my memories with something, I'm not getting bored and getting the highway hypnosis and falling asleep either. So I will give older vehicles kudos for that, because that is a way that they can keep people entertained, but also keep you focused.
You want to know why I like older vehicles? A momentary lapse in judgment ends in death. And like when I say older, I don't mean like your Impala. Like your Impala isn't that old.
No, you're talking about like my town car or my Crown Vic I had.
Yeah, your town car.
Or the Parisienne I had, the 87.
Yeah. Either of my old trucks that I've had recently, any of the old trucks I've had in my life. So I've had a lot of like really, really old vehicles. My first car, the sound system was either you listen to the AM radio, because that's what it had from factory.
Right.
Or Or this was the deluxe edition upgrade. Okay, this was really ritzy. I was given a Milwaukee M18 job site speaker that I learned if I turned the thing on and I set it on the trans tunnel, I could use my boot to push it up on top of the trans tunnel and wedge it under the dash, and then it would use the dash as acoustics and play audio through the
Oh
car.
my
And that,
god.
you ever been bumping Icky Thump by the White Stripes on your way to work at 6 o'clock in the morning in a '67 Dodge, brother? Because let me tell you, it's the best.
No,
It doesn't get any better than that.
I got one better for you. My the '87 Parisienne that I drove for a while. I bought an FM transmitter to plug into the cigarette lighter. Got the speakers
Yeah.
working, like the radio and all that. Figured out how to get them linked up because this car still had the slide dial for radio stations with the set numbers. So finagled with that. Have you ever been 5 o'clock in the morning driving a car that has no suspension down the 11th Street highway to a dirt construction site, thumping Duran Duran?
Yep. I had that with my '98 Ford Escort that only had a like the FM radio and it worked. I had an FM transmitter for it, but the bit that worked the best was the cassette deck. And when I sold that car to my brother, I gave him all of my cassettes.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm aware, he still listens to cassettes. And like now I have
Cassettes are good.
both. Cassettes slap.
Cassettes
Now
are
I
like the
have-
music industry's version of recording stuff with VHS, you know,
Yeah.
back when it looked
Yeah.
fucking cool.
I like now my Golf, I have working FM radio in it, so I don't have to use my phone. But like the head unit that I had installed in it has Android Auto.
Right, because
And
you got a
Apple
different
CarPlay.
head unit.
Well, I pulled it out of my 2016 Ram when it was written off by
Right.
insurance.
And you got it to
And
fit.
then it fit the slot because it's a double DIN head unit. So it's down and out of the way. The reason why I had it installed in that car is because I wanted to be able to put maps up on it
Right.
and just be able to quick reference a map while I was driving.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Because I used to drive that car to the track 10 hours each way
Right.
on the highway and then race it, which was stressful, and drive it home. I hope it was good. Thank God I don't do that anymore. So like that was nice to have. Like Android Auto was such a a colossal step up from the FM transmitter, and then your Durango has that, and it's great. And then my 25 Ram and my 24 also have had hands free.
Mm-hmm.
And like my 25 has actual CarPlay. My 24 was just Bluetooth, just because of the Uconnect version that I had. That's been enough. Like I can throw a map up and an audiobook or whatever song I'm listening to or podcast. It doesn't matter. It just plays, and it's nice to have. Because I'm kind of dumb. I can like Gimli to Saskatoon. Don't laugh. That's not funny. We share the brain cell. So
Look, I never said I wasn't dumb. Just you said it, and I agreed.
Yeah, fair. So like my drive from Saskatoon to Gimli can be rough because like I don't know how many times I've done at this point. I still don't remember which highways I turn onto, and I think that's really just a shortcoming of the age that we live in, where like you don't have to remember that stuff because that route is downloaded on my phone. So even if I followed a cell service, my phone is like modern technology is smart enough to compensate.
See, I
And
don't
it's just
think.
like, yeah, you got to turn here, brother. And I'm like, thanks, man.
I don't think
appreciate
I'll
that.
ever get used to that aspect of technology because I grew up like being taught how to read a map even when Google Maps was available to us, like GPS navigation kind of thing.
Yeah, me too.
And
Like,
like
that was a big thing.
growing up in a semi with mom and dad, they taught me how to read a map and like how to pinpoint where you were on the map and stuff, like especially if you're in between mile markers and towns and stuff like that. So I have never gotten used to the whole idea of GPS navigation. What I do is I go to the place I'm going to, and once I've driven there a total of 3 times, I just cognizantly remember.
Yeah. For places I go a lot, that problem goes away. And then for me at this point, the GPS is more of a safeguard because I've hit a point where I can kind of autopilot the whole driving process and think about whatever I need to think about, whether it be work stuff or D&D stuff or like topics for this.
Right.
I don't.
Your
I'm
skills
not.
have become comfortable enough and confident enough that you can go into the
I
subconscious.
I drive with half the lights on, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I'm half out the door
Yeah.
and only half the lights are still on. I don't necessarily think that's the safest way to drive. Like when I have people in the car, I pay more attention. I'm more cognizant of what is happening. But it's like
Right.
I've hit the point where when I think about what I'm doing, I sometimes forget how to drive. Especially in like the Golf. Like I've driven manual so long now that like it's just second nature.
Yeah.
So when I think about what I have to do as I'm trying to do it, I mess it up.
Well, and for me, what
Like I can get
really
into any manual vehicle and drive it proficiently. The second I start thinking about what I need to be doing, because oh, this isn't my car, and like I need to like when do I shift? And like how do I shift this car? I've never driven one. Like at this point, I can get into a manual vehicle, push the clutch in, run the shifter through its gate, and I'm like, all right, cool. I can kind of figure the rest out. Like I'm not gonna miss a shift until I think about it. I'm like, oh, I need to be in third gear next, and then I bounce it off the third gear gate, or like it goes into first again because I was paying too much attention.
right. I see.
It's a weird one
I
for me.
haven't had that problem because like I don't get many chances to drive them, but you know I know how to drive manual vehicles as well, and that's in part because of my motorcycle because motorcycles are manual, and the same theory applies with shifting. But
Oh, brother, I don't think I could do motors. I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time I think about the fact that I'm like, it would be cool to have a motorcycle just as like a cheap, reliable form of transportation in summer. I then think about the amount that's like for someone that it's like when we were talking to Blue,
right,
and Blue is like, I've been working on driving because Steph has her license, but Blue did not.
right,
I don't know if he does yet.
no,
But like for Blue, everything requires thought. And I don't know that I can go back to trying to wield something that I can't do intrinsically. And I don't want to commit that time and money into a motorcycle just to struggle with it so much that I hate it. Because like
to be
I've done that
fair,
with cars where it's like I
right,
went to go test drive a car that I was looking at buying this summer, and I couldn't get out of my head about it. And I was like, no, fuck this. Like, I'm not buying this car. And I went back and the guy was like, how was it? I was like, it was awesome. I'm not buying it. He was like, what? And I was like, I can't. If I buy this thing, I'm just going to hate it after a month. And he just looked at me. I was like, just don't worry about it. Your car is fine. I didn't wreck anything. I swear to you. Like, if you find something broken, let me know. I'll help you fix it. But it's
you've hit
it's
that
just one of those
level of
things.
comfortability where you're not really in the mood or the time in your life to try something
I
different right
don't.
now, which is okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I don't. Yeah, I guess that's probably the best way to sum it up. Is like I don't want to try something new. I know what I'm like. I know what I'm good at, and I'm gonna stay
Right,
in my lane here.
right. Well, and to be fair, we have talked about it a lot, but we still haven't taken the time for me to take you on the motorcycle yet when the weather's been good. So that doesn't help your viewpoint on it either because you don't really know what to expect. Because a lot of people see it and they think it's really difficult, and in all reality, it's not. But that's coming from someone who's been riding for almost 8 years now, and so it's
I
second nature for me at this point. But
I think I'm hyper aware of the fact that it's not that hard.
right, it's just
It's just
like I
that
said, it's you're
overcomplication of the
comfortable
chain
right
of
now.
events.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
comfortable right now, which is fine.
I'd rather
Um,
buy another car.
in terms of the
It's kind
shifting
of where I'm
though,
at.
like what you're talking about with getting in different vehicles and being like, okay, how do I shift this? we all know, for those of us who drive manual, first gear, you let the clutch out slowly till the car starts rolling, you hit the gas, and then at like 5-10 kilometers an hour, you let the clutch off, you go, right? Like the gear engage comfortably, and then you go, and then the rest of it you can just shift while going. You don't have to ride the clutch out. It's the same thing with
Mhm.
motorcycle, only except instead of foot on clutch, it's hand on clutch, and instead of hand on
Yeah.
gear shift, it's foot on gear lever, which is the same thing. You're just either pushing it down or kicking it up. It's the same pattern. It's just because it's swapped, people's memory tends to kick in, and they will try to kick their foot for the clutch, and they'll grind a gear. And the nice thing about motorcycles is if you fuck that up to a certain extent, older bikes like mine, for example, 2008, have a neutral section in between each gear so that if you accidentally kick it out of gear without the clutch, it will just shoot it into faux neutral. So it won't say you're in neutral, but it won't engage in a gear. So you have to pull the clutch, kick it back into gear, and you're good to go. You can do all this while riding. I did this. My bike's a 5-speed. I did this going down Circle Drive when I had it my first year because I was in fourth gear and I forgot. I didn't know it had an overdrive gear. I thought it was just a 4-speed. And so I'm sitting there fucking around, getting used to the feel of the bike, and I kicked the pedal or the lever, and it made a little grind sound, and then nothing. I lost all power, and I'm like, what the fuck? The bike's still running. You can hear it revving, and I'm just not moving. I'm slowing down. So I gently grab the clutch and I kick it, and it goes into another gear. And the fifth gear, the highway gear, is a 1-to-1 ratio. So there's not a lot of power in that gear. But I start rolling again. I'm like, okay, did I just break my fourth gear? Because now I'm moving again, but I have no power. So I'm coming up to the light at Circle and Avenue C. I kick down. I think I'm in third. I'm actually in fourth. Okay, slowing down. Kick down again. Kick down again. I think I'm in first now. I am not. I have not seen the neutral switch go light up and flash, because when you go in between first and second, that's where true neutral is on the bike, right? It's one down and the rest are up. That's how it typically works with bikes. So I noticed the neutral switch doesn't flash. I'm almost at the lights now, and I'm still going like 40. And for a bike, that's nothing. You can stop on a dime with bikes, which is nice. But I'm panicking. I've been riding bikes for like 6 months at this point, and my bike is super fucking heavy, and I don't like to push it too hard, because the one time I pressed the rear brake pedal a little too hard, I locked the tire up and ended up sitting at an intersection staring at the light sideways. And it scared the shit out of me. And so I kick it down again, I see the green light flash, and it goes to first. That's how I learned my bike had a 5-speed. Because the salesman that sold it to me at the dealership I was working at didn't even know that either, because he lived like 3 blocks away from the dealership. So while he was driving it, while it was a trade-in, he'd only ever put it to like second, because that I found out that gearing on that bike can go up to like 10,000, 10.5 RPM in a single gear. So he was riding second gear at like 50 kilometers an hour at like 7,500 RPMs.
I really cleaning the carbon out of it, making
Exactly.
sure
Yeah.
it's fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
helped.
that's
Which helped
doing it
go.
on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Which in the end run evidently helped the carbs, but hurt other systems, as we can imagine. But the carbs are clean.
Yeah.
They are.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably before I turn 30, I will end up purchasing a motorcycle. I have one in mind that I keep kind of circling back to. I have a couple friends with like old, like bobbers. They're not bobber style, like almost like cafe racer style bikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a high displacement
Yep.
90s cafe racers. Like I have a buddy, he just bought a VMAX, like an original 1200cc VMAX.
Ah.
And he thinks it's the hottest shit. I was messaging him because he was talking. We were talking today. I was like, here yesterday. He was like, me and my girlfriend both think you should do like videos or a podcast. And I was like, I do with my boy, full-time Twitch streamer, only available on twitch.tv/SergeantCobra98 for all that live action. And he was just like, "Oh shit, well you suck at advertising," and I was like, "I don't like telling my friends about it because we talk
We
about dumb shit
don't we
all
don't
the
like to
time."
seem desperate.
Yeah. Also, I don't want my viewer base to be just my friends, but I am cool with that. Um, the hope is other people will want to listen to it. Granted, we talk about dumb stuff all the time,
Yeah, but that's what
so
makes it entertaining because they never know what they're
I
gonna come
think so.
into.
Yeah. Every time Ricky pops in, it's what are we talking about right now? It's like, I don't know, brother.
See, that's a valid way
Um,
to enter a conversation, though. What are we talking about?
yeah, what are we talking about? And that's, you know what, big preach on that one. Um,
But yes, before,
yeah, but like I
but
have an idea for a motorcycle in mind. Like I want, there's a couple that I'm like, if I buy a new one, there's one or two. I'm just kind of hoping that Polaris figures its stuff out so I can justify buying an Indian. But even then, if it burns itself to the ground, I don't really care. Um,
I
or I'll buy
just
a Honda.
wouldn't. I would,
Like they're still making the Rebel 1100,
I would
and like
honestly. I'm not a fan of the body style, but their drivetrains are just. You can't say anything
yeah,
about their drivetrains because they are unbreakable.
yeah. And like I don't plan on leaving the province with it. So like a big heavy cruiser isn't in my wheelhouse. It's like get to and from work,
Okay, well,
occasionally go visit friends.
here's the thing though, is if you got a motorcycle, I would be more inclined to save the money up to go on a trip to BC or something. You know? Like
Yeah, that's fair. I
you
mean,
and me
like,
ride out to see Mac or something.
yeah, and like with motorcycles, that is more economical than like with cars. Like my car, even tuned, still will get 6 liters per hundred on the highway. But like it's still $80 a fill. You're only getting
That's
600 kilometers on a tank.
that's just it. My
Like
bike with all the upgrades that I've had done to it, which in the end run has been about
a bike, you can go almost the same distance for half the cost. Like
450 kilometers with mine. Originally, it was 725, but that's because there's about 12 grand worth of performance work in the engine and transmission. Performance work always drives down your fuel mileage because it's now faster,
yeah,
less economic. But when I took the bike to Banff 2 summers ago and back, that was 5 days worth of riding and close to, I think it ended up being close to like 3K worth of kilometers. It was a lot. I was on the bike for like a solid 10, 11 hours a day. And because like we did obviously more than that. We went to museums, we went to exhibition centers, like we went everywhere. And so 450 kilometers per tank, which was about average for most vehicles, and most vehicles were putting in, like you said, 80. In our case, Mom took her Durango, and Leanne and the boys and Adam took his Dodge Grand Caravan. That was about 80 to 120 a tank because of the sizes of the tank. I was putting in $18 a tank.
yeah. I can do like my current truck is probably the best I've ever had on fuel, and like
Yeah, that thing
my
is.
six my 16 actually was really good on gas. It
Yeah,
got 10 liters per hundred everywhere.
yeah, and that's out of a Hemi.
And
That's pretty good.
it was a 100-liter tank. So I could go from Saskatoon to Edmonton on a tank of fuel, and then I could go from Edmonton to Prince George on a tank of fuel through the mountains.
Yeah,
So for me to go from Saskatoon to BC with my buddy for a wedding, I think we paid $200 in fuel and there and $200 back. This truck could do just shy of golden on a tank of fuel.
okay.
I in the summer when it's warm out, even into a headwind, it's getting 11 per hundred on the highway. It's phenomenal. Like Stellantis brought the Hemi back, and I really wish they hadn't, because I feel like if they were to develop the Hurricane more, they would find more out of it. I've also learned that if I was to start mixing my tanks, regular and premium, I would get more because the HOs require premium, and that's how they get the power bump.
Right.
And it's been speculated that maybe the standard outputs shouldn't get regular. Um, just because, like, and it was something I noticed when I data logged a poll that I did in it. The AFRs on it are sporadic
Yeah.
because it's using the wrong control system for boost. So it was talking to a couple of friends and some tuners, and they were like, you might want to consider running 91 in that thing if you ever want to actually push it. And I was like, yeah, it's valid. Because, like, I did a pull in that truck rolling from 30,
Mm-hmm.
and it holds 24 psi, and I watched my AFRs bounce anywhere between 17 and 11. And it was like the gauge on my phone was just back and forth. Like, it was not consistent. It wasn't like gradual. Because, like, you know, some engines, like my Golf, for example, when you
Mm-hmm.
roll into it,
Right.
it fattens out really bad until the turbo is spooled.
Yeah.
And then it, like, it, the way the tune was written, it trims the fuel level at wide open the same way. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to roll into it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we dump all the fuel now. It's like, no, I don't want you to do that. It's like, no, all of the fuel is what you asked for.
That's what
And
you
then the
wanted.
turbos swimming. Um, but like the Golf will hit 27 psi. At 27 psi, it's getting 14 or 15 to 1, which is right where it's supposed to be.
Right.
Um, Speaking of the truck, so it didn't move for like 5 days. I'm going to segue it into the holidays.
Right.
So, for those of you that remember, the listener at home, when we did our Christmas episode, I was coughing. I'm still coughing. Turns out that was a sign of the end, is what that was. Because Christmas Eve, I got the worst sickness I think I've ever gotten in my life. I spent 20 hours in bed, sweating it out, shaking, and dying. And then kind of like came back to on Christmas about 7 hours before I had to go to my mom's thing. And I felt better, notably. Still not great. Did a lot of like going to places, visiting with people.
Right.
That
Yep.
weekend I went to Shellbrook for like a friend's Christmas thing
Mm-hmm.
with a group of my buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And I got back, went to work New Year's Eve, or like the week of New Year's. New Year's Eve happened. We did the episode.
Right.
And then I had 5 continuous days off. I washed my truck on New Year's Eve. Just about got locked in a car wash, which is a story I totally forgot to tell last week.
Nice.
I went through an auto at one of my customers' car washes,
Right.
and
Yep.
the wash cycle ends, and it's a long wash cycle. And I was like, okay, cool. I watched the green arrow to go light up. I'm like, sweet. Put the truck in drive, and the doors don't open, and the dryers don't turn on.
Ah.
And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, shit. I'm calling the office because
Not good.
my customer's on days off, so I can't call him.
Right.
Calling his employees. I'm like, hey guys,
You,
Chris from DA Lincoln Pump Service here.
you need
I
to
need you
fucking
guys to
get
let
here
me into your car
now.
wash. I want to go home. So that was cool. Got out of there. Got the truck home. Didn't drive it for 5 days. It's important to note that on my way back from Winnipeg, my check engine light turned off. The truck had a check engine light. Eventually, the check engine light turned off. I was like, this is
Okay.
rad.
Yeah.
Peak performance. I love Dodge. Wearing the Ram hat
Gotta
again.
love it.
Gotta love Dodge. Can't believe we are so back. And then Monday on my way home from work, the check engine light turned, or no, yesterday on my way home from work, the check engine light turned back on. And I'm ready to burn that thing to the ground.
Dude, I really think you need new batteries after that hiccup you had that caused all the lights to come on last time.
I absolutely do. I am waiting until its first service because I'm going to make Riverside replace the batteries on
Oh,
warranty.
that's
And I'm
fair.
also going to
Yeah.
have them pull the codes because I can't clear the codes on that truck myself without
Right.
disconnecting the batteries.
Right.
So when I take them the truck, they're going to find the batteries are weak because I've been paying kind of just enough attention to the voltmeter when I start it to know that it probably shouldn't be registering 7 volts when the engine starts. Um, and like
Well, okay, so
I
that's
drove
not
it.
so
So,
much of a
so
problem.
I drove
Remember,
it 10 hours down the highway to
yeah,
Winnipeg.
yeah,
And normally on a long drive, if any of you own vehicles with like a little charging system indicator,
like the battery
eventually your
voltage reader.
charging system, yeah, your battery voltage will start to reduce
Hmm.
because the batteries have been charged. So the alternator doesn't have to output a high voltage anymore. I know that truck will do it. It'll run at 13 and a half volts down the highway or 13.2. Like it'll run at like that 13-volt mark.
Right.
Not once in the 20 hours of highway driving that I did the voltage ever come off of like 14.3. And driving around the city, that hasn't been made better. So,
Okay,
like
no, hold on now
I
though.
know one battery is weak.
Hold on though. That that could be a mitigation system though, because the Durangos have the same thing. The Durangos never peak past 14.8 volts. It's not like the old batteries where they used to overcharge and their cells would expand over time. Keep in mind, your truck is going to have gel acid batteries. Gel
Yeah.
acid mitigates itself so that it can't overcharge.
And like I'm aware of that, but even my 24 had an AGM in it and it would sit you could drive that thing down the highway for like an hour and it was back at like it would that my blue truck always really messed me up because the eTorque system would let the charging system would go back to like 12.6 volts and it would sit there happily. And it wasn't until you like started in traffic a couple times that it would come back up.
Oh,
But
you're
like
meaning like even after the truck's off, it stays there or what?
no, I mean like the truck has had enough drive time and run time the since the batteries died that it
Right,
should have been able to restore enough charge for the charging system to normalize, and it is
right.
not normalizing.
What
So
it?
I think
Okay.
so in my truck there's 2 batteries.
Yeah,
There's the main
yeah.
battery,
And then
and
there's
there's a
the
secondary,
yep, the auxiliary.
which is what runs like all the interior stuff,
Yep,
and they're tied together.
yep.
I
It's
think that auxiliary is fried
okay.
because, but when I first got the truck and I would take it on long highway drives, I would see the voltage come down after a certain amount of time on the highway because the batteries would normalize and the charging system would stop fielding 14 volts. It would start like 12, 8, 13, 13, 2, like in that range, but less. So right now, I know the batteries are weak.
Okay. Well,
I'm at
unless
I'm
they
at
did something.
9,500 kilometers out of is it 12,000 to my first service, if I recall correctly.
Okay,
I'm just holding out.
that's
It will
fair.
they will be getting replaced.
Unless they did something different with the Huracan system though, when they started putting those in like the trucks and everything, because I've never gotten to drive a Huracan system. I don't think that the warning systems on your dash not going away or the electrical system normalizing is totally the batteries though, because our Durango, even when we
No,
took
the
it to
check engine light I know is a sensor that's failed
right,
because it cuts my. If it was the batteries, I would still have my command start.
right, but
The
I
check engine light completely cancels that.
but like in your recharging system, you said it's not acting completely normal the way it should be. I
Yes, which is a
don't.
battery failure.
That's what right. That's what started it initially. I don't know if that is what's continuing that by itself though, because our Durango does the same thing. Even when we go to Calgary or something with it, the batteries while running never drop below 14.4 volts. Because if you remember when we were in school, Glenn told us that's where they're supposed to be. That's where they're supposed to stay because the alternator is constantly recharging the battery.
Um, that is a That has more to do with the technological difference between how your Durango is wired and engineered as compared to the Rams. Like the
That's what
e-torque
I mean.
system
Is
was
it could
designed.
be different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a technological difference. I know that the new Rams will drop below that because they have systems in place for storing excess power to offset load on the alternator. Um, it's a system that they designed in order to try and extend the life of the alternator. I don't think it necessarily works.
Okay, so it's kind of like an
Lots of guys with e-torque Hemis remove the e-torque system completely and put like
right,
fourth gen alternators back on,
right.
and they get back to the same result that you were
So
seeing.
yeah,
With my fifth gen and the e-torque system, that was never the case. With my 25 up until the batteries failed, that was never the case. Like it would always
oh,
normalize back out at like regular battery. Like I
right,
know it's not working how it's supposed to because I have observed that change.
right.
And
Yeah,
I know what's causing it, and I'm just procrastinating getting it fixed.
I didn't. Okay, yeah, I didn't know that the eTorque and Hercon systems had an external regulation system like that that keeps wear and tear to a minimum.
It has a lot to do with how the stop start system is done with the Hurricanes.
Did they change it again from the normal stop start?
It uses the starter again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you can hear the starter engage in my truck when it
Oh
starts at an
fuck!
intersection.
I
Yeah, dude.
really wish they would stop messing with it. Like how
You know
many
what?
they've changed that
It
every
works.
generation now though. That's I
Yeah.
like it works. That's fine, but it's just fucking annoying, especially coming from a mechanic standpoint. Like, could you
Oh
imagine
yeah, it's
being the guy
terrible.
in the dealership trying to learn this shit, and then the very next year they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're switching again. You got to go for another 2 week course in fucking Germany to learn how this works."
So,
I couldn't do
from
it.
what I understand, the eTorque system is an evolution of how like most modern manufacturers do start stop using the alternator
Yeah,
and the serpentine system.
right.
The way the Hurricanes do it is standard across every vehicle that's equipped with that engine. So the high outputs and the standard outputs all do the exact same thing. So like Jeep uses the Hurricane a lot. Rams use it, and Dodge doesn't really use it. The new Chargers do, but it works the same across the board for all of them. It's dumb, and that's kind of why I hate the fact that they're going back to the Hemi because they're not. I think if they were to give the Hurricane engine the eTorque system, it could probably be the most phenomenal combination
Right.
because like the eTorque system would make up for the actual lack of an inline six, which is off the line performance.
Right.
Granted, my truck fucks with its socks on, but like it's got some boogie to it. It gets down. I've never done an all-wheel drive burnout as hard as that truck will on ice. Like it's in any vehicle with four-wheel drive.
Right.
It's I don't know. It's one of those things where I think it's just Stellantis doing Stellantis things,
That's fair.
and that's why my next truck will be a diesel. It'll probably be an old diesel,
be
but
a be a
it'll
diesel.
be a diesel nonetheless. A diesel.
Be a good old
Um,
diesel.
Diesel. I'm honestly back on the lookout for like a first or a second gen Cummins 1 ton.
Good fucking luck.
I know,
That
which is what
is.
I was gonna buy originally
You know what you
when I
should
bought
do?
this truck.
Instead of buying something that you're gonna have to spend like 6 grand a month to fix when you find it, because the guy who's selling it is gonna be clapped out and wanting 30 grand for it. There's a fucking 2006 Yamaha V Star that's the same size as my motorcycle sitting at Redline right now for 6 grand.
It's no big deal.
No, it's not
My
actually.
my plan for buying an old diesel again is do what I did with the first ones that I ever owned, which is you buy it pretty much as cheap as you can find it,
Mm-hmm.
and then just go through it all and disregard the fact that it's going to cost you a ton of money. Because if you go through it all and fix everything that's wrong with it right out the gate, like the first Cummins truck that I ever had, I think I dropped 10 grand at IDP. They went through it completely. They rebuilt the VE pump,
Right.
or the common rail system.
Right.
They fixed the killer dowel pin. They redid the timing in it. They did like a health check on the motor. They just made sure everything was good on it. And then they did a service on the transmission, service on the transfer case, the diffs, and then I brought it back. I changed a bunch of steering components. I changed the brakes, dropped the coolant, did fresh coolant in it just so I had it. And then I went through and I simplified the wiring because first gen Dodge trucks are notorious for having electrical fires,
Right.
just like Polaris. Anything.
I remember all the dump trucks. Yeah, that had problems.
Yeah, and then I had a shop in Outlook brace the frame.
Okay.
I had them fix the center point in the frame, and they literally just bought a bunch of plate and they manufactured brace plates for me, and then they braced the frame 4 feet off the ends, and then I gutted the interior, redid the wiring on the interior, put fresh carpet and a seat cover on it, and I drove that thing with a cracked dash and a cracked windshield until I sold it. And then I did the same thing when I got a second gen, except the second gen was significantly more expensive because I just ran it all the factory. The only thing about the second gen that was different was it made significantly more power.
Right.
Because IDP hot tuned it, which I didn't necessarily ask for, but it was very nice. That truck would get like 7 liters per 100 pulling a fifth wheel. It was unreal. It was phenomenal. It was the best.
You want to you want to know what's unreal? You're out here planning your future for vehicles and shit for the next like 8 to 10 years, and I'm just out here looking for my next bowl of cereal. To be honest, I'm just out here looking for my next Fruit Loops.
And you know what? The price is comparable across the board.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's why I'm out here looking for it, because I don't get it very often.
We talked about this yesterday when you sent me a snap. You were like, you know what?
I sent you a picture of a big ass bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah. This man had a mixing bowl full of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and cornflakes. Or not cornflakes, corn pops.
It was actually, yeah, so what those were they actually were Frosted Flakes brand glazed donut holes. Corn pops that were glazed.
Of course they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They taste just like corn pops.
I get a Snapchat at work. Sometimes cereal just hit different. And then I went on a tangent, which you guys are about to hear. I agree with that statement, and I kind of wish I didn't, because cereal's almost a nothing food.
Honestly, once I'm done my sub, that's what I'm having for dessert tonight, is a fucking bowl of Crave and some donut holes.
Yeah. The reason why cereal still slaps is because it's so expensive now that it is legitimately like a reward.
You're just paying for the nostalgia.
That's all it is. Like, so a universal experience, I think, for the adults in the crowd is like, back in the day when we were youngsters, first out of high school or like first part-time jobs, you know, you could buy half a gallon of milk or like a 2-liter carton for $2.50, $3. And you could buy a box that was like 4 or 5 inches thick, a standard foot deep by 18 inches tall.
And it was filled with fucking brim.
And that was the standard for cereal that was full.
Yeah.
It was like a kilogram of cereal or 2.205 pounds of cereal for $4.50. And you were eating like a king for a week.
Yeah, you were getting everything for less than $7.
Yeah, you could eat breakfast for at least 5 days in a correct ratio where you ran out of both cereal and milk at the same time.
Yep.
For $7. The last time I bought cereal was probably 6 months ago, because I was walking through and it was on sale.
Right.
To buy half a gallon of milk is like $6 now. It's close to like $5. It's not that expensive.
Still,
it is expensive in comparison to other fluids that could be ingested.
Yeah.
It's worse because like I at some point became lactose intolerant. So can't have the milk stuffs now. And a box of cereal that is like 40% of the size, but advertised as like the regular box of cereal is like $8. And you run out of cereal after 2 bowls.
Yeah, because they only give you a
Three
third of a
bowls if
bag
you're
now.
being conservative with it. Yeah. It's like buying chips. Like buying Lay's potato chips. You used to get a full bag, or like Old Dutch potato chips for the Canadians in the audience. Old Dutch potato chips used to come full bag.
Yeah.
Delicious.
You had to be careful how you opened it because you were crushing the chips on the top.
Yeah. It was $1 for a pound of chips.
Yeah.
And it was the best purchase money could make. As a youngster, looking to play video games all weekend, you were getting Old Dutch potato chips, you were buying some cereal. Because it was $10, you were set all weekend.
Some cheese pizza, some sweet chili heat Doritos, and some Mountain Dew.
Oh, brother.
Oh God, that was the life.
Those were the days.
Those were the Need for Speed Saturdays.
You didn't know how good we had it.
Oh, we really didn't.
We're welcome to the most boomer podcast on Twitch.
We took it for
Brought
granted.
to you by two guys in their 20s.
Yep.
But like to buy cereal now, you get a disappointingly small box with not a lot of cereal in it. Very expensive.
Yep.
You get the same volume of milk at triple the cost. Very disappointing.
See, the thing is, we're getting the same volume, but we're not getting the same quality, though.
No, it's not as good either.
No, it's not. It's honestly more watered down so that they can distribute more for more money.
Yeah. So, like, to buy cereal to use it as a meal, like, I eat cereal once a week. It's like $5 a bowl.
Yeah.
And it used to be like $1 a bowl, which is, when you don't have a ton of money, is a livable cost for a meal.
Cereal used to be the poor man's snack. That was what it was called.
Yeah.
Now you can't even do that.
You gotta be on the Fortune 500 list. Forbes 30 under 30 top influencers or whatever, which we're not on. That Forbes check hasn't cleared in my bank account. Hasn't cleared in yours.
Nope.
So
there effectively is no poor
cereal,
man's snack anymore.
No. Like chips are expensive because you gotta buy twice as many bags to get the same volume.
Yep.
Cereal's expensive because it's just priced out of any kind of affordability.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Actually, I say that if you're willing to like absolutely compromise and you like absolutely have to have cereal, the like no name brand bags, which even those used to be than they are now.
Oh,
it used to be you could buy a 2-kilogram bag of cereal for $4.
Yeah.
And now that same bag that's 750 grams, it's like a third of the size, is $7.
Yeah.
But it costs the same amount as a box of cereal, but you get 4 times more. So economically it makes more sense. I actually do think I have cereal in the house now that I'm thinking about it. I think I have a bag of Cinnamon Toast Crunch like knockoff.
Even the knockoff.
9 times out of 10, it's better than the stuff you buy in the box. You get more of it for the same dollar value. You're gonna run out of. I'd rather run out of milk before I run out of cereal because I can eat the cereal dry.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want to, but you could.
But depending on the cereal, it's still good dry though. Like
Pops.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms. Yeah.
Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops.
Because at least you're still getting a strong flavor.
Yeah, it's a mouthfeel game, right?
It's a texture thing.
It's a texture thing. Listen, nobody in this house has sensory issues, but if I did, I would exclusively eat Fruit Loops. I almost said Fruit Pops. I almost hybridized 2 cereals in my head.
My tism peaks when I feel the crunchy.
Yeah, it does. I like crunchy foods. What can I say? Listen, I'm here to tell you, I haven't been able to eat bananas since I was 5.
Oh no!
Real facts, can't do it.
Oh, that's something that should be said in everyday life without context.
I cannot stand the texture of a banana
See, I just don't like
because it
I
has
don't
no
like the flavor.
texture.
I just don't like the taste of
There's
them,
that too. Yeah,
honestly.
my sister-in-law when she was pregnant with my nephew was like huge into banana, like banana popsicles, banana ice cream that exists. It's a thing. Don't ask.
What the fuck?
Like banana pudding. Anything she could get her hands on that was banana flavored, that was the craving food. And I remember Matt one time called me from work and was like, "Hey, can you do me a solid right now?" And I was like, "What you need, boy?" He goes, "Can you drive to the No Frills by our house and pick up Tori a box of banana popsicles and go to the house and make sure she's good?" And I was like, "Yes."
You know what?
And
I
so,
do know which ones you're talking about. They're banana with a half chocolate covering or something on them. Because
not even those ones.
okay, well, Hope got those ones for Tegan to try because she thought, oh, banana, kids like banana. Tegan took a bite of it and it got plastered against our opposite wall in the kitchen because she hated it. I was like, good, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Monkey brain strong.
Monkey brain
So
reject.
I was like, yeah, sure. And I went, No Frills, bought her. It's like $2 for a box of these popsicles because nobody wants them. And yeah, ran him over the house and she was stoked. Like, so happy she could cry. It was, watched her fight back tears. Like, this 5 foot nothing girl that at the time, like before pregnancy, was built like a stick, that is very pregnant, is
Mass playing solo leveling.
like choking back tears over
Yeah.
banana popsicles.
Jesus
And I was like,
Christ.
you know what? I can respect the game on that.
Motherfuckers over
No, these
there
were
turning
like-
into Clyde the orangutan.
Yeah. And it shows a little sometimes. Cereal's really expensive.
It is, honestly, more so than it has any need to be, but all we can do is look forward to the future, which the future forecasts an increase of about $1,000 a month for families of 4 to feed themselves. So cereal's about to become that much more expensive. And probably even less in the box. Shrinkflation is real.
Listen, this year was looking good on the outset. I think we started at the peak, really. We were spreading democracy across the known galaxy.
Yep.
And then we made it 48 hours with world peace, and we bombed a second world country back into the third.
Yeah, and then we found out
Venezuela.
Yeah, and then we found out the ending of Mass Effect Andromeda, and
And
it's just
then
ever since
you
that 48
finished Mass
hours,
Effect
it's been
Andromeda.
downhill.
I was not present for the stream of Mass Effect Andromeda.
It's probably good you weren't. You would have.
You told me after the fact. I would have been in the call immediately.
You would have blew your monitor through the roof.
I'm here to tell you, I've watched the VOD back. My least favorite part about it, I'm trying to stay cool. Listen, cool as a cucumber over here, brother.
You start seeing his camera shaking as he vibrates.
As I shake the desk. Here's my problem with the ending of Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda was a very long, tedious, and arduous process to achieve a conclusion that it looks like the failed storyboards for the ending of the first 3 games. And my problem with that is Andromeda as a concept was very cool. As a standalone game that was not Mass Effect was...
It was not.
It was a pioneer of its time, I think, which is where it suffers a lot of flack because they learned... They made a lot of mistakes so everybody else could learn. Like, you got to think, that game came out 2014.
Yeah, but
there was not a lot of open world games that did stuff like that.
I think that's the only thing that made it a pioneer, though, is the gameplay style.
Correct. Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely what I meant by that statement. Like it was a pioneer in the gameplay style that it brought forward.
Right. But
using Mass Effect as an engine for that, I feel like is a disservice to anyone that's ever loved Mass Effect.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people got pissed. Because like that game could have easily been called something else.
Yeah, they could have called it Exodus. And then Exodus could have been Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm still so excited to play that just to like, because here's the thing, I'm pretty good at predicting things. by and large. Not always. I have, I'm about 50-50 on my
There's
hit rate.
always space out in space.
There's always space out in space.
I can't. Every time you say it, you stop for the longest time because you knew that I was making Wall-E references.
Yeah.
You sent me a fucking voice message about that too. You slip up and my brain immediately, Wall-E!
Oh, wow. Blizzard. Here's my problem with Andromeda. They put us through all of that work and all of the tedium and it's a game full of fetch quests that failed at doing
No
what
real
it
outcome.
tried to do.
Yeah.
And the game was so non-committal to the end. Like, it didn't know what it was when it started. It wasn't really sure what it was in the middle.
So it started copying the endings of the first 3 games. When you sent me that voice message yesterday, and I finally listened to it earlier today, I didn't think of it that way.
You saw it.
Yeah, but as soon as you said it, yeah.
You were like, oh yeah. No, the bit where they're flying in on the Tempest is straight up just the ending of Mass Effect 1, but bad.
Well, because think about it, the very
Archon is just the Harbinger fight.
The very ending of each Mass Effect in order in comparison to Andromeda. Andromeda, you fight the Archon. Mass Effect 1, you fight Saren. Mass Effect 2, you fight Harbinger. Andromeda, you fight the Architect. And then, Mass Effect 3, you have a multitude of choices, which all have pros and cons, consequences and actions that you have to make like a heartfelt decision for. But Andromeda was just like, oh, here's your decisions, but they all have the same outcome. Nobody dies, everybody's safe. No! Like, where's the fucking Mordin Solus of this adventure? Where's Rex? Where is Liara? Like, where is all of the decisions that could potentially get your crew killed if you do not tread carefully? There was no heartfelt moments.
There was no stakes to the game.
No.
And that falls in line with how non-committal it was about its story the whole way through.
Yeah, because you made reference to Mass Effect 1 when all the ships come to fight. I forget the Reaper's name that attacks while you're fighting Saren.
Harbinger.
No.
I almost called him Leviathan. That's wrong.
No, that's 3. But either way though.
No, 3 is Harbinger as well.
Well, yeah, but you meet Leviathan in 3.
Yes.
But so you made reference to when all the colonies came together at the end of Andromeda there to fight with you on Meridian, to Mass Effect 1's when everybody from
you want to know
the original.
You want to know the best analogy I can make about Mass Effect Andromeda's ending versus the first 3 games?
Huh.
It was the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was Star Wars. It was Star Wars Episode 9 to the first 3 games, Episode 6. Like, Episode 6 had a solid ending that was narrative and cohesive and made sense to the world.
Yeah.
In the same way that the first 3 games did. Like, you fight the big bads of the first 3 games, and they narratively lead you into the next game, and 3 narratively leads you to the conclusion of Shepard's story.
Yes.
They left open-ended on purpose, and the reason for that is because they're going to make a 4th game, hopefully, before I die. If we get Mass Effect 4 before GTA 6, I'm going to be so stoked. Because I don't want GTA 6. But...
So,
like Andromeda's...
right, that's what it was. When you made reference to when everybody from the Citadel in Mass Effect 1 comes out to face Sovereign.
Yes.
While you're on the
Council fleet.
Yeah, while you're in the Council fighting Saren, you made reference to that being akin to when all the colonies come together at the end of Andromeda.
As the Tempest is on its way to go fight the Archon, they get Meridia.
I can see that, but I think the reference... I think the reference, given the diverse amount of people that they were trying to pull in for that big fight on Andromeda, because like the Angaran were there, even the fucking 2 gangs that were fighting each other in Kadara, so like Sloane's there, Sloane was there with the Not the Collective, the people she runs with against the Collective, because the Collective was Reyes's group. But you know, they were all there. Everybody put their grudges aside from this vast Helios, you know, space. I think they were trying to make reference to Mass Effect 3 in that sense. When the Reaper War finally breaks out, the weapon is made, and everybody comes together to give you a chance to get to the weapon and make that choice that ends up being made, you know, where you run into the
Yeah.
elusive man and you find out he's actually been indoctrinated the whole time.
Yeah, where because the Elusive Man is the big bad of Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
Um, so I wasn't. Yeah, you're right on that. I think I think it's probably more correct, but the general vibe of that scene and like the dialogue of it as I was watching it back is very reminiscent to like the Council Fleet, where there's like a lot of panicked chatter
Yeah, that's
because this is
fair.
an enemy we don't really know how to deal with,
But
even though the Ket the whole time is like the biggest pushover the galaxy's ever seen.
yeah.
And then you get to the Architect fight, and it's just a shitty version of the Harbinger fight. And then the Architect fight ends, and it's like, well, you have to use the Meridia Vault, and it's just the integration ending for Mass Effect 3.
Well, and that architect
And at
fight,
no point,
how did that architect fight end? Because you don't have to interface with it like you do with the previous four architects to send it away out of the atmosphere, which means you didn't actually beat it. You just immobilized it long enough to take control of it. So
yeah,
why did that remnant, or why did that architect just lay over and die then? Like, what was different?
the whole the whole theme about Andromeda's ending is almost them showboating that integration was the correct ending for Mass Effect 3.
And honestly, for me, I looked at it and I was like, okay,
Because
they ran out of
every part
ideas.
about that, yeah, they were like, well, what if we just take a playbook
Yeah,
that nobody really remembers?
budget's running out. We got to do something, and they just
Yeah,
started mix and matching. And I saw that coming from the moment the last SAM node was unlocked, and the memory of your father, like the second last memory that you get from Alec, is of him talking with the people from N7 and talking with Liara about Shepard and the Reapers and all that. And I was like, okay, I can already see where this is going because we've gone from basically zero references up to now about the previous Mass Effect games, you know, trying to indicate that this is a standalone game, to now everything from the previous Mass Effect games is starting to
is
incorporate
about that.
here.
Um, I will. I'm gonna out of character defend that just a little bit because of the timeline that you're more familiar with than I am. The Andromeda Initiative leaves the Milky Way galaxy between the second and the third game.
While Shepard's in
N7 is a
jail, yes.
N7 is a human-driven special forces. Spectres are the council.
Correct.
The humans always took the Reaper threat seriously. The galaxy did not. So Alec talking to Liara and other members of the N7 initiative, which he was a part of, makes sense given that note because he would have known before the Andromeda initiative left that the Reapers were a threat. And to a certain extent, the Andromeda initiative can almost be viewed as like, okay, the galaxy gave it enough credence to be like, maybe we should try to preserve civilization. We'll send these people into space. And it was pioneered by a human, was the original head of the Andromeda initiative. So
Right. Well,
I do think
hold on though.
that that
We
Sam
never
node
actually
memory doesn't
learn.
suck.
We actually never learn who the benefactor is. Remember, all we know is it was headed by GN Garson, but we
It
don't
was
know
probably
who
the
the
elusive
actual
man.
benefactor was, which could very
It
well
was
be. But there is
listen,
something. There is something I want to correct in what you said though that
in the Milky Way
makes.
galaxy, there's only two people powerful enough to fully fund and develop an initiative: the Shadow Broker and the Elusive Man.
Say
And
Admiral
if it's
Hackett could do
between
it if he wanted to.
Admiral Hackett's a bitch. He ain't doing
Oh,
shit.
dude, no, 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 no.
Actually,
You
yes.
can't.
No,
Yeah,
I
you
will
couldn't
say
bet
that.
down
I like
Admiral of
Hackett.
First Fleet like that. But the thing I want to correct you about though that might make your like statement seem a little different or a little harder to defend is you just said that the humans always believed the Reaper threat. That is incorrect
After
because
the second game, they did.
that
The events of the second game shift the human paradigm because the start of the third game is basically the council on Earth, as the humans are like, the Reapers are coming, and we've known they're coming for a while now because Shepard's been in jail this whole time. And the council's
that's the
like,
thing though.
no, you guys are idiots.
That
But
so
the humans have been preparing the whole time.
that is still partially wrong because if you remember when she got back, the reason why she was in jail is because the humans court-martialed her in Vancouver because they couldn't find any proof that Harbinger
Vancouver,
had
Canada?
actually, yeah, actually it
Yes,
was.
that is how they phrase that. Yeah.
And they court-martialed her because when they were looking into it in between the second and third game, they could not find any evidence that Harbinger had been there other than her accounts and the people in Normandy, because they certainly weren't going to contact Cerberus because she was still viewed as an enemy for working with the Elusive Man. So she had to prove her innocence. So the humans still didn't technically believe her because all they thought was that it was just the collectors. They didn't understand that Shepard was telling them that the collectors were literally people that had been turned into those things by the Reapers. And so, since they didn't find any hard evidence of Harbinger, they were like, well, no, all we know is you're working with Cerberus and you did some things against some of our colonies that didn't look so good. So here's a jail cell for you. So up to that point, it was only the people in Cerberus and the Normandy and, what's his name, that always defended Shepard. He was the captain of your ship at the beginning of the first game.
Oh,
I ended up choosing him to become the councilman after the end of the first game too.
yeah, me too. Anderson.
Anderson, yeah. Anderson was the only person outside of Cerberus or the Normandy that believed you up to that point, and then as soon as the Reapers attacked Earth, the humans and the council were like, oh shit, this is real, and everybody was in a panic state because that's why Anderson had to create all those little pockets of rebellion, is because they were not prepared at all. Because if you remember, when they invaded the Turian planets, they didn't have to do that. The Turians were prepared and launched a full-scale war on their moons to keep their planets safe to an extent, which still failed, but they were prepared for it at that point, so there was no rebellions. So they didn't have to, go through all that shit. Whereas the whole time, you're fighting rebellion, like pockets of rebellion on Earth, because those are the only people that were able to mobilize quickly enough when the Reapers attacked.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? Now that you're saying it, I am. Yeah, starting to think about it a little bit more.
The only reason I remember all because I just went through it. but but again though, when all of that happened, this all comes back to the fact of you have already gone through well over 100 hours between Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. And when you see the Reapers touch down on Earth, it brought, it gets you emotional because it's like, oh fuck, this is actually happening. Especially the scene with the little boy and all the dreams that you keep having about him.
That fuck ass kid.
That was tough to watch though. It was
That scene sucks.
Yeah.
I hate that they were like, we're gonna flog a dead kid that Shepard couldn't save.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Can
was
you pick anybody else?
That was fucked. And like when Mordin Solus dies, I thought I fucked up somewhere. Yeah. And Fred after stream was like, no, you didn't fuck up. That's just what happens. And my first thought was, man, I never get to hear the Solarians sing again. That made me upset. And then flash forward to when the party happens and you wake up the next morning and he had sent you audio files to your data pad. And I listened to them while sitting on the edge of the bed, and it's him singing songs. I cried a little bit. And like the emotional moments like that did not happen in Andromeda. They had no pivotal moments except for the one that you brought up about about
Dr. Aiden,
Dr.
the
Aiden,
Solarian scientist.
Yeah. And I felt like I made the wrong decision because that did not feel good, sacrificing Solarians to learn more about the Ket.
In all of the, I think I said this in my voice memo to you originally, and all of the time I watched, whether it be on stream or like I go back to listen to a VOD after the fact of Andromeda.
Right.
That was the only time I ever heard you say, I think I fucked up.
It was the only emotional state I ever reached with that game.
How many times, if you were to just ballpark it in the first 3 games, because there was your first playthrough that you
Yeah.
did you make a decision and then immediately think, I think I fucked up?
In the
Like every time.
in the first game, I felt it a few times just because I wasn't sure how the Paragon Renegade system worked, but mainly
The first game is like the loosest of the
yeah.
three main lines.
Well, and mainly I didn't feel like I fucked up so much because if you look at it, there's actually a very clear line between Paragon and Renegade. I knew what I was going for, and I had Zach and Fred helping me along, telling me how to achieve what I was wanting to achieve. But come the second game, things started to rattle me a little bit more because they said, okay, you get how it works now. We're not helping you anymore. This is all on you because this is where shit starts to ramp up. And it became way more intense.
The second and third game are great because they blur the lines.
Yeah.
Like the first game is more conservative in its approach. And I think that's because, like, okay, this is a new story, this is a new world. We got to make sure it hits with the people.
Yeah.
And hilariously, it is the alignment system in the first game that like had everybody love it.
Yeah.
And then in that second game, they're like, okay, well let's push it. Let's see how far we can go with the alignment system. The third game's alignment system is similar to Andromeda's dialogue system in the way that you kind of don't know which way you're leaning until you see the little Paragon +2.
Right.
Like at the end, or Renegade +2.
Right. Well,
and when you're doing a Paragon run and you suddenly see a Renegade, you're like, what the fuck do you mean that was a Renegade option?
I mean, to be fair, in Legendary,
cutting of that sucked.
Yeah. In Legendary Edition, though, they did kind of revise that with Mass Effect 3 so that the clear Paragon and Renegade decisions were highlighted blue and red again, like the first 2 games. So that was nice, because I never got to play the originals. And I know there was a lot of... Yeah.
It was just one of those things where, like, so...
It was very undefined.
The common theme to the Mass Effect games, in respect to the Paragon and Renegade system, and this is true across, like, every BioWare RPG, Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
Yep.
When you are making when there is a decision that requires a certain like level of either alignment side,
yeah,
it will always be highlighted.
Yeah.
There will always be times where you can choose one or the other, and those are pivotal choices.
Right.
What I mean by the fact that it blurs the lines so much is like you always have the 3 indicators, and generally it's Paragon, Neutral, Renegade.
Mm-hmm.
And if you always answer in that sequence, if you always keep that fact in mind, it's easier to streamline your run. Like, I hate this dude, but I'm answering Paragon because I need the points.
Right.
And you don't always get points for it because not every single one of those is an important Paragon or Renegade decision.
Right. That's just you staying loyal to the system.
But they established that dialogue mechanic in the first game.
Yes.
And then in the second game, the Paragon options start to get a little Renegade-y, and the Renegade options start to become a little Paragon.
Yeah.
In the way that they meld the 2 together.
Well, and I think it also helps that these situations become more intense. So the response seems more appropriate.
And then in the third game, there are times where you will forget how the dialogue mechanic works, because why would I ever say this when I want to say this? Because this makes sense given the moment, so it forces you to completely blur the Paragon Renegade line.
Yeah.
And they do that just with good writing. Like, the answers are all good, and if you follow your gut and pick the one you believe in the most in that moment, you are just as likely to get a Renegade answer as you are a Paragon answer.
Well, yeah, what you needed to do in that case was really, really heavily remember the fact that Paragon is always top right and Renegade's
always top right.
Yeah, and Renegade's always bottom right.
The reason why Andromeda suffers from the lack of that, I think, is because
there was no system.
Because it's Andromeda. Because there was no system.
No.
So there's no reason why Andromeda couldn't have had morality.
Well, yeah, like when you're talking to Morta, the leader of New Tuchanka, who, you know, everybody's saying
Yeah.
she's becoming dictatorship and stuff like that, and you go to talk to her and she's like, who says you can approach Morta? You're trying to establish relations with this person, and the only three dialogue options you get are three different ways to tell her to knock her attitude off because you're a Pathfinder. She doesn't give a
That's
shit
what
that
I'm
you're a
saying.
Pathfinder. She
Yeah.
will headbutt your ass through the rock wall beside her nonetheless. Like,
It's one of those things where if it had an alignment system, it would have taken nothing away except for development time on a game that was already bad.
yeah,
So like the lack of the alignment system, the lack of a true suicide mission, which discredits the loyalty missions completely.
those loyalty
now
missions were nothing but a joke.
And now yeah, I watched you play I think one of them, and I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Plus they're all time based, so you can start it and then you have to wait for the prompts to do the next part of it.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well,
that sucks a lot.
Jaw's loyalty mission takes place right from when you meet him on Aya to the end of the game. I looked through the completed missions list that you can click on when it's on hold, and there was 12, I think roughly about 12 different missions that you do for Jaw that are all marked loyalty mission.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, this is completely fucking stupid.
The gating of certain stat requirements or like certain options in the skill tree behind loyalty made no sense because they use the same stat system as Mass Effect 3 does.
It's not like the stats for anything special.
No. And like, listen, Andromeda bad, I hate it. I'm Commander Shepard, and that's the worst game on Steam.
Yeah, I did not endorse this game.
I did not endorse this game. If I had to give my like trademark buy it, sale it, or pass on it for Mass Effect Andromeda 13 years after that game came out ish, I'm gonna tell you, pass on it. Don't watch a Let's Play. You know what? Actually watch the VODs back on youtube.com/Sergeant Cobra 98. Because that's probably the most enjoyment you're gonna get out of that game.
I
honestly,
saw.
Otherwise, there's no point.
I didn't mention this before, and I found this really hilarious because of how petty I felt in the moment. The minute I shut down the stream on the final Mass Effect Andromeda game, not only did I uninstall it, but I got a notification, you know, because Twitch sends you notifications, hey, this person's streaming something you may know or you have streamed previously. Are you interested in watching? I saw this complete Mass Effect novice who never played Mass Effect before playing Mass Effect Andromeda, and I wanted to go on there so badly and tell her to just stop, don't do it, it's not worth it, this game will let you down in every way imaginable.
I would love to track that person down and talk to them.
It was...
I'd be like, hey...
It was a woman, and she's in her 40s. And...
I would love to get that perspective. You've never played a mainline Mass Effect game. Okay, cool.
So this game's going to seem really good to you.
Understandable. What are we thinking about Andromeda so far? I want to know. I would really, truly love the perspective on Andromeda from someone that has not experienced a mainline game. Because, like...
Yeah, that's... I can see where you're going with that.
Release order.
Yeah.
So, you played 1, 2, 3, and then you played Andromeda.
Right.
I played them in release order as they came out.
Right.
I played 1, 2, 3, and then years later Andromeda.
Which I still think to this day you haven't beaten because of this bullshit.
Yeah, and you know what? I've seen the ending now. I don't.
Yeah, you know what happens, and it's
having it removed from my Steam library.
Big letdown.
Yeah. I think actually Matt might be the closest opinion that we could get on that. So if we can get Matt on here next week, to talk about grinding in video games.
But you know that just means that there's so many, because like we scraped the bottom of the barrel with that game, And I'll be honest, just in terms of general view count, that game has probably one of the lower view counts I've had on the channel ever. And so,
I It always pops up on like my Steam recommended games sections. There is one, two, three, four, five, 6 people streaming it right now. There's 26 people viewing the category.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um,
And I actually think I found the person that you were talking about.
okay.
Hilariously, I'm not gonna
Um,
message her, but
so, but like that scraped the bottom of the barrel for us and on the channel here, and I'm glad it's finally over. But that just means that we
yeah.
can
So
go. There's nowhere to go but
is
up from
that
here.
well? Hold on. Let's take a step back. Let's look at 2025 as a whole. Was that objectively the worst game that you played on stream?
In
Do you
2025,
think?
um,
And we know Garfield Kart doesn't count.
yeah, no. If we're talking like story-driven games, because we all know at this point, my channel is about story. Well, I should say our channel because I have too many people on here with me every week to just say my channel. So I don't think that's fair to you and everybody else. But we all know that my channel is the channel is very story-driven. You know, that's what it's about, story-driven games. I like
Listen, neither of us are out here competitively multiplayer gaming anymore. Sometimes you gotta just sit down, and gotta have a little fun single player story time.
you know, and I do that every once in a while, you know, for fun, like Helldivers kind of thing with you guys. But for the most part, I enjoy a good story.
Yeah,
You know, like, but in terms of
look at where we are.
this past year, up until I had hit Mass Effect Andromeda, I actually thought the weakest game on the channel had been Code Vein, the anime Souls like the me and Zach did. Great game, but it just the story was so hard to pick up. There was not a lot of context for it.
Do you think your choice of co-pilot affected your experience?
No,
Because
no.
I feel like Zach would be fun to play certain games with.
See,
I've
so
watched enough of the Elden Ring streams to know that I would not want to play a Souls like with Zach.
that's the thing is he does get very invested in games. I've learned it's not a matter of him trying to be a know-it-all. It's he gets very invested, and if something
There's a
goes
level of
wrong,
commitment to the bit. Like,
yeah,
okay,
and if
yeah.
something goes wrong, obviously that's a lot of progress we're losing, so we have to go through it again. For example, when you put the ring on the statue of Melania underneath that church in Elden Ring to have
Mhm.
that conversation with her, something glitched, and Zach was up at the fire, the bonfire above us, or the site of grace, or whatever the fuck it's called,
Yeah.
and it glitched him through the floor. So when we came out of the cutscene, he fell 100 feet to the ground in front of us, and we all watched him splat like a bug on a rock. And he lost 300,000 souls because he was trying to level up when it happened, and the game was just like we don't know if it was the co-op mod that we had on or whatnot because seamless co-op, and it was just
It
like,
was the
hey,
seamless co-op mod.
yeah,
I can confirm
and
to
it was
that.
just like, fuck you, we don't like this guy, he's too far from the rest of the group. And that's what happened, and he got right upset about it, not at us for, you know, for causing it. He was upset that the mod broke because that's 300,000 souls, that's a lot of levels with how low level we were. And so he gets invested, and especially if it's a deep-seated game like that, because like Elden Ring has a massive story. That's a big
Yeah.
story. That's, by all accounts, Elden Ring's story is on the level of Mass Effect for its size, and
Yeah,
that's a
I
lot
would
of
agree with that.
progress. That's a lot of progress that he had to backtrack on. So I get why he was upset, and he was, like I said, he wasn't upset at us. But no, I don't think it detracted anything from the view count for the channel or anything like that, doing that with him. I actually really enjoyed it. Me and him had a lot of fun doing Code Vein together because we got to make fun of all the blood codes and the bosses and the stuff that they were ripping off from other games and all that. What I actually did get a lot of comments and messages about between Discord and the videos on Code Vein was people asking, what the hell is the story even about? Because the story picks up with half-seated lore from a different piece of fiction, and it's a very obscure piece of fiction. So if you haven't found it at this point and you just start playing Code Vein, you better not try to understand it and just go through it treating it like a generic Souls-like, because you are going to be so confused by the end of it that you're not going to know what to do with yourself.
I think anime games as a whole kind of suffer from that, where it's like anime games exist, I think, for the audience that has ingested the original material.
Yeah, you need to
So if
know
you-
what's going on.
Like you started solo leveling at
Mhm.
my recommendation. Matt, my brother is playing it right now. I've
Yeah.
put 40 hours in it. That's
Right.
what I spent my holidays doing.
Which Matt could be playing that while talking with us on here, but whatever.
He could
He
be.
doesn't love us enough.
We'll give him shit for it next time. But like, if you're not a fan of solo leveling, you aren't gonna pull anything out of the story, and
No.
you know what? Actually, I think solo leveling is probably accessible enough as a story
Yeah.
that you would enjoy the game
I
for the story
think a
that
good
it tells you.
I think a good example for what you're trying to say is, because like I actually have the perfect one, God Eater. I have only
Yes.
played God Eater 3, but God Eater 3 was made in a way that you don't have to know the story of the first two, but it definitely helps. So
Correct.
that's nice. But I then watched the God Eater anime. If I, even having played God Eater and understanding the story and what it's all about, the God Eater anime still made very little sense to me. And so if you have not played the God Eater games at all, do not watch the God Eater anime, because by the end you'll just be more pissed than anything else because you had no idea what the fuck is going on.
That is also true, I think, of SAO. You cannot play the Sword Art Online games
SAO,
and get any
yeah.
grip on the story.
SAO has a big story, but the problem is that if you miss even one piece of information, you're out of the loop.
Well, like, Sword Art Online is one of those things where, like, if it's one of those anime games that, like, if you love SAO, you actually will end up hating the games because they don't follow any story. Because
Yeah.
the SAO games, and to their credit, I think, try to tell their own story.
Yeah.
But they do it poorly.
Yeah, because they try to mix in stuff from the actual show lore, and
Yes.
that fucks it up
As well
horribly.
as they add weird stuff from the novels that like never comes up in the show because
Yeah.
it doesn't fit.
Well, look at the one I did, which was the whole reason why I took a break from doing anime games, the Alicization Lycoris. That is set
Yeah.
in the Alicization arc, but
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with the show. So
And nothing to
people
do with it.
who have seen the show go into this thinking they know what's happening, but then they get completely sidelined and just like beaten with a fucking bar of soap and a sock, so that they, no, you don't know what's going on. This is what you
Yeah.
deserve for this. This is your punishment. Like that's why I've taken a break from it. But to go back to your original question, since I kind of got sidelined, up to the point of reaching Mass Effect Andromeda, I thought Code Vein was the weakest game I had done all year. I have absolutely no problems in saying right now, as of this point, Mass Effect Andromeda was the weakest game for me on a personal level. I still enjoyed Code Vein to some extent.
At this point, but 2025 is over.
But
I mean,
I
I guess
finished-
you finished Andromeda in 2026.
I finished Andromeda before 26. So, no, yeah, a couple days into 26, whatever.
Yeah.
The
in
point is,
2026.
though, I started the Mass Effect series in the middle of 2025. So I would say, since only one stream out of the 36 streams I did is in 2026, it belongs to 2025.
I agree with that.
But
I'll allow that concession. What was the best game you played on stream?
now,
Personally? Like, which one was your favorite? I
personally,
think it's a better question.
Personally, or just for like channel view wise?
Personally, views don't matter.
Views. Okay, so we're talking about personally.
In either, like, in the worst game you played on stream in 2025 and the best game, like your favorite and least favorite,
See,
disregard view
that's
count. Which one were you like, I wish this game kept going forever? Or did you wish that you didn't have to speed it along because you were playing on stream? Because like that happens a lot with like variety streamers.
right, right. They feel like they need to
Where
rush
like,
through it to get to the next thing.
well, you have to a certain extent because
Yeah.
like people are only going to pay attention to the same thing for so long.
And that's the
So you,
thing I've tried to not do is rush through it because I know people don't like when people skip things. Like, point in case, I went through every side mission on Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 and Andromeda. I didn't miss a single side mission. But you're right, though, a lot of people do lose interest and tend not to stick around. Um, but I try to give the full in depth story perspective, you know. So I'm never
yeah.
really worried about that in a sense. If people want to watch, they'll watch. I'm here doing this for fun. I'm doing this to, you know, have fun with the people that I hang out with on a daily basis. And for anybody else who wants to join that circle, you know, here we are. But picking my favorite is kind of difficult because you got to keep in mind all of the S tier game series I've gone through this year. I went through Dead Space.
Yep.
I went through Metro.
Mm-hmm.
I went through all of Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, and Elden Ring. Space Marine 1 and 2. I did the Lies of P DLC. I did Dragon's Dogma 1, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I went through a lot of S tier game series this year. And that's only to name a few, because like me personally, I really enjoyed the Plague Tale series. Those two games, very
Yeah.
historically driven. I'm a big history buff. I
Yeah.
really
They're great
enjoyed
games.
those. They are. Um, the one that was a great game but is not on my list is Alien Isolation, because great story, but fuck that game. Um, for obvious reasons.
I still remember the first stream I come into, you're like hiding in a locker.
I
You're like,
I could hear breathing and
and
I didn't
then
like it.
and then I think it was Fred in the chat is like, you hide in lockers a lot and the alien learns. And that
Yeah,
was, I think, the first time you had been told that the alien adapts to how you play the
I did
game.
not know it had an adaptive AI.
And like right after that, I think it pulls you out of the locker and you have to go back and you're sitting there, you're like, this pre-webcam era, I could tell you were shaking at your desk.
Oh, I
Like,
was.
what the fuck?
I jumped. I bit my tongue so hard it started bleeding because I tried to hold in a scream. I am so glad I didn't have a webcam during those days because you guys would have seen me giving myself fucking hernias. Um,
Yeah.
but I think honestly, 100% the most fun because like I look at for a game I enjoyed personally the most, I look at how much fun I had with it. Because like liking the story and thinking the story is really cool and in depth is nice. It's enjoyable, but enjoyable and fun are different, right? Um, I think for the most fun game I've had this year on stream would have to be Split Fiction.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know
I
about.
no, I really enjoyed Split Fiction, and it really like looking. I've been looking back on it over the past week, especially since you've been sending me all the messages about it. It Takes Two and stuff, and I've really been looking at how much I want to do more multiplayer games with you coming up this next year. And
We're gonna play some fucking games this year, brother. Let me
I
tell you.
I had the internal thought and agreement with myself that even if I don't have the money at the time when the game goes on a considerable sale, I will grab it with my credit card because if it's like 20.
You just let me know. I'll just buy it.
No, I know. I'm not saying that though. I mean like I
I'm a whale.
I've hit that point where like I've got no money in the safety net sense, but I have money, you know. I just don't have an emergency
I
net.
also am
But
an adult in 2026.
but
Yep.
$20 isn't even $40 isn't gonna break the emergency money net I have, you know. So
I have.
if I take $20 when It Takes Two's on sale or something, or A Brother's Tale, I own that now. Um, I will do that so that we can play it.
Oh, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Yes,
Yeah.
I own that now. I got it for free off of last month's Humble Bundle, I think it was, or the month before. Either way, I've been looking more at it. I want to get more into like 2-player co-op stories with you because I really enjoyed A Way Out and I really enjoyed Split Fiction. And I still go back every once in a while just to watch the A Way Out video
The Way Out video
because of how
cracks me up every
fucking
fucking time.
how stupid it is, but how hilarious it is. And I've kind of actually been thinking about posting it as a VOD Twitch as like a rerun
Yeah,
for people to
sure.
watch because it's so good. I think that's probably the best piece of content I've put on the channel so far is that video.
Ever. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree with that because I'm in it and I'm a narc. I So we were talking about this earlier, and I was really racking my brain for like the game that I played last year that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah.
Split Fiction's probably my favorite game that I played with other people.
Right.
And I was trying to think like, could I quantify another game as like something I enjoyed the most?
Well, yeah, because it's pure fun, right? Like, what did you
And
have the most fun at?
and for a minute I was like, the answer that's probably Warframe.
Yeah,
But
you've
I
been
have
getting
to.
big into that again recently.
I played a lot of Warframe when the old piece came out.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at like my Steam replay.
I do have though.
Playing,
Yeah.
um, oh shit, I just had it and I've lost it again.
Sorry.
Um, it's all good. From like a single player perspective, I had I had a lot of fun with Final Fantasy 16, and I still haven't finished that game. So like a top 3 on 25 for me
Mhm.
would be like Final Fantasy 16 is a solid third place.
Mhm.
Final Sentence, when we played that demo, was the funniest, most hectic shit.
Final
I got
sentence was
hardcore
hilarious.
into
Yeah.
that. That was
That was some
for
good
a
shit.
game that was like, it was so good, and like playing it with people was colossally fun. And then Split Fiction, for the story of it, really, like, it takes. Those devs have told some of like the best stories I've played
Hmm.
in like the weirdest medium of game. Which
Yeah.
is like like I'll praise Ghost of Tsushima until I die, and
Right.
God of War 2018.
Right.
It's like some of the greatest single player games. Red Dead Redemption 2 is just up there with them. But like, for the mutual experience of playing a phenomenal story, like it had to have been Split Fiction. And like Final Fantasy 16 story is no slouch. It's really good, and it's the most compelling Final Fantasy game I think I've played ever. From like an accessibility standpoint for people that don't understand the Final Fantasy lore, and like the having enough of a overarching knowledge of how the other game's lore functions and tying that together, because like every Final Fantasy mainline is different.
Hmm.
They're not the same. They share similarities, but at no point are those like, they're not key identifiers.
Right.
The one key identifier is the gods and the mother crystals,
Hmm.
which it's kind of where all of those stories rope back to, but they all deal with them in different ways.
Yeah.
The 16 hit me with a lot of the same thoughts that I had when I played Final Fantasy 2 or Final Fantasy 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Ghost of Tsushima. It's like moments where the story is on rails and you got in the box cart and you pulled the trigger, you pulled the lever, and you're going down the roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
But like the way it does that and still makes it fun was cool. And like Split Fiction, I think that did that very well, while also allowing for us to be absolute idiots and riff the whole time. Like,
So I do, yeah, no, I agree. We were able to completely go a bit off the rails, or go on a tangent, if you would, um, for this.
and like it was, and like every turn in Split Fiction was funny in its own way,
So
except for those stupid fucking that food one. The children's book was the dumbest shit. I think everybody, even that was
I
funny.
think
Like,
that was the point, though. It was supposed to be because it was made by a child, which actually
yeah,
reminds me, I played back through that level with Hope, and because
yeah.
I got her to play it with me. She thought it was funny, up to the point where you get eaten by a child.
I thought, you know what? I bet she did think it was funny.
She really enjoyed the farting pig that could fly, and she was having lots of fun with that. And then when you go through the grinder and pop out his hot dogs, she was like, "Okay, what the fuck? This is getting dark. What's happening here?" And I was like, "Just wait, just trust the process, just the
That's
process."
the process.
And
You become
so
a tasty hot dog.
we grilled each other. We got the buns, we got the condiments on, and I was like, "And now the good part." And then she's like, "Well, what's happening?" And she watches the kid picks you up and bites you to, like, bites down, and she's like, "What the fuck?" She freaked. But there is a lot of things to look forward to for 26, though. That I
Got
think,
a whole year behind us.
yeah.
What's on the docket? You've
So
got some really interesting stuff right now. Like you started solo leveling,
yeah,
which is like the return of anime games.
yeah.
You took last night off when you could have been restreaming Split Fiction or A Way Out. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
You
tell,
know,
pe- tell
I
people what you're
actually,
playing
I
next.
actually thought about, when RV There Yet wasn't going to work out, either doing more solo leveling or doing more World of Warcraft, because I was supposed to be starting Ace Combat 7 on Thursday, but we're
Yeah.
going to do RV There Yet on Thursday now because Digital said he's free on Thursday. And Tony, I mean, for the most part, other than a few select days here and there, I can message him anytime and he'll be like, "Okay, I'll be there." And so, but yes, we're more games with you this year. That is plan number one. Um, I would like to get more of the series games out of the way, because I mean that is the whole essence of this channel, right? Is the big series games. We can all go through the series we love with in-depth stories. So for the series that I own completely right now to look forward to, we've got Alan Wake in its entirety, because I own all of the Alan Wake games, and now we have even more to look forward to with the eventual release of Control 2.
Oh, Resonant is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I haven't even played any of them. Um, I still don't own all the Assassin's Creeds, so unless something drastically changes with that this year, that's probably going to be on 2027's list. But I am definitely going to be doing the Batman Arkham series, because I own all of those, including Suicide Squad, because that actually ties into the Arkham series, as well as the fact that I'm doing that. I know I've seen a lot of gameplay from it, and a lot of people have said it's a shit game, and I would tend to agree with them. But I'm doing it purely as, like, homage to Kevin Conroy, because he was my Batman. You know, he's the one we all grew up with. He's who put Batman, for all intents and purposes, back on the map after Adam West retired. And
He,
so I'm gonna do that one.
he's
Bioshock is
also the Batman that gave us Mark Hamill's Joker
yeah,
in the Arkham
exactly,
games.
exactly. Kevin Conroy gave us so much that we never appreciated, and I feel like that needs to be done as well. So when I do the Batman Arkham series, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is going to be in there. Um, Bioshock is on the list as well, because I own all three Bioshocks. So that's going to be coming up this year. One of the ones I'm really looking forward to, because I grew up playing these games with my dad, is the Hitman games. I own all of the Hitman games now, from Codename 47 right up to World of Assassination, that has Hitman 1, 2, and 3 from the new generation in there, all in one. So I'm going to be doing all of those because I own Contracts, I own Blood Money, I own Absolution, I own all of the Hitman games, right from like
Absolution is probably my
PS2.
favorite Hitman game.
See, honestly, for me, I
I know everybody loves Blood Money, but Absolution was the one I actually played first, and then I played the other ones afterwards.
for me it was Hitman 2, Silent Assassin from the PS2. Me and
Yeah,
Dad
that's
played
valid.
so much of that one. I really enjoyed it. Although I really hate the fucking winter map on that one, the winter mission, because those Russian guards can see you from a mile away through the blizzard. That was always a bit of a fuck off kind of thing. So that's another one to look forward to. I do own all of the Just Cause games, but I don't know how much of the Dead Set story that they have, more so than they're just a fuck around physics game. So I haven't really considered that one yet. I just bought them all because they're on sale. With the continuation of the Tomb Raider games coming out, I own all of the Lara Croft and Tomb Raider games from the PS1 up to present. So like I own the remastered Tomb Raider trilogy, and I even own the top-down Lara Croft games, like Temple of Osiris and stuff like that. So, we can look forward to maybe doing some Tomb Raider stuff since we're never going to get Uncharted on the PC in its entirety. But still working on getting Max Payne, so that one will be in the works. I do own all 12 of the Sherlock Holmes games, though. That's probably one of the bigger series that I'm going to be going through this year.
12?
There is 12. And
Where?
each one of them follows the life of Sherlock Holmes. What?
Job done. It was Moriarty. Job done.
Yeah, no shit.
Got that in one game.
So the reason why I did that though with the Sherlock Holmes games, and this was the only game series I actually had to research and go through and mark down the timelines, because they don't go in order from when they were made.
They do not.
The chronological order was what I actually wrote down, which kind of messes them around. So Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 is the newest one, I believe. And that one literally takes place in 1869 when Sherlock Holmes starts his detective career. And then Sherlock Holmes, the Devil's Daughter, one of the oldest ones, takes place in 1895 when he is like doing his last cases before he retires. So I have these all marked down. I can show you here. I have them all marked down by year, like chronological year of his life, so that I can play them in order. But yes, for all intents and purposes, though, there is 12 games, so that's going to be one of the bigger ones we're going through. We got all of the Sniper Ghost Warrior games, so that's something else that you and me will be going through with Sniper Contracts 1 and 2.
I tried to play Ghost Warrior 3 a little while ago.
Yeah.
I forgot how rough the actual Ghost Warrior games are.
They take patience. They make you bring out your old school COD playstyle of when you couldn't just run and gun. You had to wait and act like a real soldier.
It's not even that. My problem with 3 is it's an open world game,
Yeah,
whereas the first 2 are
they're just
linear story based games.
mission to mission. Yeah.
And Contracts 1 and 2 are the same.
Mhm.
So like the game, I didn't enjoy the open world aspect of it. I was like, and I think that's because I've been burned out of like the open world game genre for a while. Andromeda kind of put the final nail in that coffin. I don't
See, for me, that was the only thing that saved
I struggle with
Andromeda for
extraction
me.
shooters now.
I
'Cause I was
really enjoy open world. And open world has always been my thing, and that's because I grew up with World of Warcraft open world, Like, World of Warcraft opened my eyes to the whole possibility of open world. I enjoy the exploration more than the actual gameplay.
I'm a big give me a mission objective in a limited area. And let me show these fools how it's done. Let me run the fade.
Yeah.
like Warframe has open world areas that you can go through, and there's activities that help you earn standing with the factions of that region.
Yeah.
I can't do.
So,
I don't want to do them. I don't. I just. It's one of those grinds where like there is something there for everyone
mhm.
except me. I can't like
There
in the,
is.
so in the open worlds for Warframe. Let me just very quickly break it down. There's only a few activities you can do in each.
Right.
There are bounty missions, which
Uh-huh.
takes you back to that like
Uh-huh.
this is go here, do this thing, move on to the next area.
Right.
There's fishing.
Yeah.
There's mining.
Uh-huh.
And there's conservation.
Correct.
You have to unlock the dart gun, the fishing rod, and the mining laser, which isn't that difficult. You get them very fast. Do a bounty. Go back to Cetus. You can buy all three, put them in your gear wheel, go back out into the plains, and then you can run around and do whatever you want from there.
Yeah.
Conservation's like the most skilled part of that because there's lures and you have to actually like track monsters, but you could just find them like the animals, and if you hit them with conservation darts and then interact with them, you'll get the tags and that gives you standing.
Yeah.
But like
it's
just like I just don't want to run around a big area.
I should make note of the
I just don't want to do it. That's why I don't like the Just Cause games anymore. I can't play them.
I should make note of the 5 major series that people are probably gonna really go nuts for when I have them vote for them, that they can expect to see in the upcoming year, because I know that none of these game series are anywhere near as long as Mass Effect, so none of them are gonna take probably anything longer than 3 months to complete, you know. The ones that I'm working on are Wolfenstein in its entirety, Doom. I just recently acquired all of Fallout, so I can go through Fallout now. So people are probably going to vote for that very fucking quickly. I am working on the Yakuza games. I know there's a lot of games there. And that's a lot of content. But that is probably going to be one of the last series games I do because of its size.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd wait a long time to do the Yakuza games.
Me and Zach talked about that.
Being is they've remade the first two, the Kiwami 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They've made a prequel game, which is Yakuza 0.
Which, yeah.
They're currently making Kiwami 3 and 4. And then 5, 6, 7, and 8 are modern enough that you can play them without issue.
Yeah, I just recently got like a Dragon Guide and The Man Who Erased His Name, which is one of the later games in the Yakuza series.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one's gonna take a while.
They are like 60-hour games each.
Oh, easily.
Like minimum.
Easily.
They are full JRPGs.
Yeah.
Like I would either wait or I would do like that would be the series that I break up.
So that one,
time.
What I talked about with Zach is like, 3 or 4 years in the future, once I've done everything, including Assassin's Creed, which was the whole reason I started this channel originally 3 years ago. Once I've done all the other major series, and I'm like, okay, I have nothing left to do with my Saturdays, and I stream for like 6 to 8 hours on a Saturday, what am I going to do? That's when I'll start doing the Yakuza games.
Yeah.
So I got time for that. But
a franchise for 26 to like really start it off with a bang. If I could influence your decision at all, I'd start with BioShock.
So that was one of the ones.
I would go from BioShock to Alan Wake to Fallout.
I was actually told to do
That's my progression.
I was told to do it the other way. I was told Alan Wake, BioShock, Fallout.
I'd start with the BioShock games because they're older.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it to a vote.
The first two are more difficult to play.
Right, yeah.
And they're also, as far as like a franchise of games goes, you could push through the 3 of them in sub 40 hours. Because like you don't play games on the hardest difficulty.
No, because I'm just trying to get I'm getting the story, right?
Yeah. It's not like me with solo leveling where I was like, I'm gonna play the game on hard and
Yeah, like
suffer the whole time.
when I play a game on hard, that tells you that I have either beaten the story or I'm confident with the way the game plays that I upped the difficulty. Like I did that with Forza Horizon. I started out when I started playing Forza Horizon 3, I played it on the easiest difficulty until I got used to the racing style of it. And then
Yeah.
with each race, I upped the difficulty until it was completely maxed out.
I think, like, if I remember correctly, Bioshock has no difficulty adjustment.
It's
the
just
game is
it is what it is.
the game
kind of
is
thing.
as advertised.
Yeah.
I know Alan Wake has a difficulty setting. I
Yeah.
do recommend playing at the very least the first one.
What
on
I'm
easy.
what I'm gonna do is
Control does not have a difficulty setting that I remember.
I'm going to either once we're done the podcast tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to put up the vote finally for Saturday, and I'm gonna put Alan Wake, BioShock, the Batman Arkham game series because I really want to do that one, or I'm gonna put the Hitman series for the fourth one. And I'll see which one kind of wins out because I want to do all four of those. I just don't know which one to do first. So I'm going to let you guys decide that. But I know a lot of you are pulling for BioShock and Alan Wake.
Another thing you could do, because like the Arkham games aren't terribly long. I guess it depends on like to what level you're gonna try and play through them.
Well, yeah, because like if you're not
If
achievement
you're trying to
hunting
complete the games, you're gonna be there for a while.
I mean they're not as long as we seem to remember. Because like I completed Arkham City 100%, and that one wasn't that difficult. I was able to do everything right down to the Riddler's side bullshit for 36 hours. Like that's not that bad. Considering what I just came out of with Mass Effect, honestly, none of those seem that bad to me.
No, not anymore. Perspective's a hell of a drug.
It is, yeah.
I would.
But you can still get the full story of the
Allow-
game even without doing all of those. And you can do them after the story's over because the game lets you continue.
Yeah. Break up. If you start with Alan Wake or BioShock, I would break them up with Batman. As like a palate cleanser. So like if the vote is that the first game is BioShock or the Alan Wake franchise, don't go from one to the next because I'm not going to say they're similar enough that you'll be like, oh, these are kind of the same game, but they're weird enough that having fresh eyes for each one is nice. Like BioShock story, start to finish, is kind of unhinged. Alan Wake is like a Silent Hill style of a story. It's just like it's simple on the surface and it's more complex as you dig further into it.
Right.
So like, but the Batman games and the Hitman games are very much like you're the guy and you do the thing and here's the story, and that works really well. Like the
right,
BioShock
like
games
the story's there, but there's no character development, which kind of makes it easier.
Yes, I would. So if it was me, I would split the franchise, those two specifically, just because of the nature of the games. Like I haven't finished the Alan Wake games.
See, that's an interesting thought because I've never thought of doing that. I've always just kind of pushed through and done the whole series as a whole on Saturdays. But that's also why I only do it once a week.
I'm not saying like go like Alan Wake and then play a Batman game.
Right.
I'm like play the Alan Wake franchise.
Oh, right.
Straight
into
don't
BioShock.
go straight from Alan Wake into the BioShock games.
Put something a little more
into Batman, something
more fun running kind of thing. Yeah. Like, no, that makes sense. Yeah. So what I can do then is whenever
to get your brain out of the thinking about especially if you go because like BioShock and Alan Wake will allow you to think about things.
Yeah.
And some of the themes are very similar.
Right.
So if you break that up, you will
The
have a
information can
minute to
sit
like.
in properly.
Well, not even that. You have a chance to forget about what the last franchise had in store.
Right.
So it's like you finish the Alan Wake games. Alan Wake and Control are deeply supernatural in nature, and then you play the Batman games. That's a comic book game, and I'm
Yeah.
Batman, and I don't kill.
We all know
And
who
then you go
Batman
into the-
is. It's yeah.
And then you go into the BioShock games, and you're like, the BioShock games force you to think about
Thought process
the
re-engaged.
overarching. Yeah, it forces you to think about what's happening
Yeah.
and really try to understand the path that led them there.
I get what you're saying actually
In
now that
in a
you've
way that's
explained
similar
that.
to Alan Wake.
I get what you're saying when you explain that, because if I remember correctly, I went straight from the Metro series into the Dead Space series last year.
Exactly.
And by the end of Dead Space 3, I felt completely worn out, and I hid
Yeah.
that fact by letting Fred lead the story for Dead Space 3. Like I just followed him around while he led the story. And I never said anything because it wasn't like I was trying to ride off his coattails. I just was starting to slowly lose my interest because I was so tired of trying to invest in so much information, stream in and stream out week after week. So I get what you're saying. That's actually a
You're trying to
really
rationalize a ton of information
that's
all
a
of the time.
good idea.
They are both games that will bombard you with their themes and their settings.
Yeah,
Like, Control was the first of the Alan Wake universe that I played.
right.
It's a mind fuck from start to finish.
Yeah.
And
They're very
the game-
psychological.
It's psychological thriller, and it makes no sense ever. And the
Right.
further you go through it, the less it makes sense.
Right. The less you should even try to understand it.
Like, the beauty of playing Control when I did was like, it's peak pandemic. We can't really go anywhere, can't do anything. So like, I was just on board for the ride.
I'm
that's
just gonna
probably
mind
the
fuck
right-
myself.
I'm just here to let this. And like, the less you think about the world of Control, I think the easier it is to understand almost, because you're just like, yeah, of course. Obviously, that's an
fair.
object of power.
Right.
Yeah, why
It's-
wouldn't the rubber duck
It-
have the
it's-
ability to gigantify everything in its radius?
So it's
Obviously.
similar. It's similar in a way to trying to understand the full spectrum of the story from Remnant 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because like their worlds are really
Don't think
fucking.
about it.
Yeah. Like don't
Yeah,
ask questions. That way lies madness.
yeah. Ask no questions, hear no lies.
So what I'll
It's-
probably do then is, depending on which one wins, so let's say Alan Wake wins for first series of 2026. After
I
that
would
one's done,
streamline your vote. I would have it pick between two games up front.
that's what I'm thinking about doing is do
Either Alan Wake or BioShock, and then Batman or Hitman.
because there have been people bringing questions up to me about like, hey, why do you get all your viewers to pick your games? Are you that indecisive? And it's really kind of brought a new perspective of like, well, no, I'm not indecisive, but I thought you all enjoyed getting to democratically vote on which one I played next for your guys' enjoyment. But if that's the case, I will start doing it like a even split. You guys choose a game, I'll choose a game kind of thing, and I'll get more involved with it. So I'll have
I
them
think you
vote.
should pick the games that you want to play the most.
Well, that's the thing is because
Your-
like I
your
do want to
enjoyment
play
Is
them all.
paramount here.
I do want to play them all because I mean, look at the games I've played on stream so far over the past 3 years. None of them have been games I've played prior. They've all
Yeah.
been games
I
that I'm
think-
playing for the first time. Batman
think
Arkham,
you're-
when I do it, will be the first game that I have played prior.
I think the best franchise for you to finish out 2026, because that's probably about as long as it's going to take you to get to them, is the Fallout games.
Yeah, Fallout's definitely going to be the
Because
last
the-
one.
Because Fallout is like tongue-in-cheek, goofy, unhinged, crazy fun. Like,
Right, yeah.
If you, have you watched the show at all?
No, but I have seen tons of clips about the hilarious quick save moments when somebody does something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
show
yeah.
does a really good job at illustrating the world and like the sense. Like the first two games are pretty serious, but like there is hilarity to be found within them.
Yeah.
Like my favorite clip is still of like the Enclave base in the second game. It's like the first time you ever walk up to the gates, you're like, sorry, you can't come in here. This base is reserved for the president of the United States. And one of the dialogue options, it's like if you have like the lowest int score, it's like the who? The president of the United States. Don't you what are you live under a rock or something? And it's just like power suit wearing Enclave soldier who's like coming unglued. It's and like I also think to that extent the Fallout games, at least the first two, will take you the longest to play through
Right.
because they are the most not skill removed. But they're the most difficult of the games because they rely on your ability to think tactically more than they rely on your ability to like
Right.
MacGyver the game systems.
Mhm.
Granted, you go to the casino in the first and second Fallout game, and you can literally hold like two buttons and hit max cap after like you can max out your caps after like 30 minutes.
Nice.
Because there's a glitch with the dialogue where the dialogue will run at the frame rate of your system.
Right.
So if you hold, I think it's like the down arrow and the enter key at the betting tables for the casino, it's like it's max bet and you hold enter and you, because of the way the game has to think, it defaults you to winning more than you lose.
Jesus Christ.
Where if you go through it like at game pace, it's
So it's constantly like
game, like
up,
a
up, up, up,
casino.
up, down, up, down, up.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's a goofy glitch that is just like a byproduct of the time
Right.
and the way it was developed. But
Yeah.
I think the Fallout games, much like Rookie's Dismay, I think, should probably be the last franchise of the year. Because you will get the most enjoyment out of the jokes from them. Well, also like it will take you the longest to complete that franchise. Like if you start Alan Wake, BioShock, or Batman this week, those are probably 80-hour franchises at the absolute limit.
Right.
You do all your side stuff off stream anyways, so you go back through it like to get your completion markers.
Yeah.
I think you can finish Arkham Asylum in like
Arkham Asylum
streams.
It's
well, a 20-hour game.
Actually, Arkham Asylum is right on par with Assassin's Creed 1, where if you like, because there's really nothing to do for side missions in Asylum. It was the first game, it was the entry. There's no open world or even semi-open world. It is pretty linear, and you're going straight from mission to mission.
Arkham City is the longest one.
Yes, which is the one that I did in less than 40 hours.
Yeah. Arkham Knight, hilariously, is the one that I played the most of. And I remember hitting a point with Arkham Knight where I was like, I played it the same way I played City. Where I was like, I really want to see everything that this game has to show me. And then I hit a point with Arkham Knight that I think you probably hit with Andromeda, where it's like, I want this game to be done. Like, I don't want to play this anymore.
I don't know if I will feel that
it's
way.
It's a cool game, but like, and it does a lot of interesting things. And like, as far as like Batman, it is.
Hi, Rookie.
Fantastic, Batman. Welcome back, Rookie.
I don't know if I'll feel that way about Knight, though, the way I did with Andromeda, like you, purely because Knight doesn't try to pretend to be something it's not, like Andromeda did.
No, it's still a Batman game.
Exactly. It's
wholeheartedly an Arkham game.
It's still a comic, story-based beat-em-up.
Yeah.
And it's... So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also just... It's Batman. Batman is my favorite DC superhero. What I'm thinking, though...
It's a matter of conviction, Rookie.
Yep, we out here with the dedication and loyalty. But what I'm thinking then... What I'm thinking then is, let's say BioShock wins first series of 2026 that I stream. I'll do BioShock.
You gotta vote for BioShock when the poll goes live tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm only putting it...
I will buy you one game of your choice.
Well,
if you vote for Bioshock.
I might do it as soon as I'm done the stream as well. But either way, I'm going to be tagging everybody. I'm going to put up Alan Wake or Bioshock instead of my standard 4 games that I do. And let's say Bioshock wins. Once Bioshock's done, I'll do Batman Arkham, those 5 games, and then I'll go into Alan Wake, and then I'll go into the Hitman games. Because honestly, for all intents and purposes, the original 6 Hitman games were actually pretty short because they were not intended as
They're
a series.
short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just meant as
10-mission video
standalones.
games.
Yeah, they were just meant as standalones based around the same agent at different points in his life.
Yeah.
But so do those, and then I'll do Fallout.
The other benefit to 2-game polls, I think, is that this is like a classic Discord server trope, because we're in a Discord call, so I can see all of the servers I'm a part of.
Right.
Even the Pepperbox server, which you only gain access to if you're a member of Pepperbox, there's people put stuff in it all the time, but the second you look for engagement from the people in the server, it's everybody goes away.
Nothing. Yeah.
It's I've watched the last poll that you did, which I think was for the last
Neo
game.
It was for the Souls likes. Yeah.
Yeah. When you chose Neo, there was 4 options there, and there was 3 votes, and 2 of them were for Neo, and 1 of them was mine for whatever game wasn't Neo. I can't remember what it was, but
I feel like it was the Surge or something like that.
2 votes. Yeah, I voted for the Surge.
To be fair, once that voting was
if you
actually
can-
done, we got to almost 10. But I know what you mean because we've got almost 50 people in the server.
Yeah,
You know,
and the amount of people that are going to it's the 6 or 7 of us that consistently watch the streams are the ones that are voting, and everybody else is just there.
Well, I know,
You know what I mean?
it still kind of pisses me off a little bit. Like when I joined Twitch, other than the immediate 5 people who are moderators on the channel, on the server Discord there, nobody else of the other 48 people came over to my Twitch channel. In fact, a few of them even unsubscribed from my YouTube channel. And it's okay, why? The question is, why did you join if you were that uninterested? Why have you chosen to be a part of this Discord server if you're that uninterested in the content that it's trying to bring?
I think it's looking for a place to happen kind of deal. Everybody has that to a certain extent.
Right, but I mean, if that's
yes,
not
I
the
just
place...
referenced the Tragically Hip song.
Oh, I thought you were referencing The Incredibles. What are you waiting for, kid? Something amazing!
I guess.
But
I think there's that too, right?
But it still begs the question, though, if that is not the place where you're feeling that is happening for you, why are you staying around, and not participating in what everybody else is participating in on the server?
You know what? Some people don't, and that's their choice. That's what they're here doing. That's why Blue's streaming right now.
Okay. But
I love poking fun at Blue because, I know Steph is still watching, and I have to imagine she's not watching with headphones in, so he could probably hear me talking shit.
No, she usually does watch with headphones in, but it's a matter of if she's actually paying attention, because usually she's playing Zenless Zone Zero or something, and she's like, "Whoa, what was going on?" Someone was mentioning us. Yeah, some gotcha game.
Listen, gotcha games can be fun sometimes.
But no, doing that lineup for the series, it makes sense, what you said about only putting up 2 series at a time for Saturday streams, because why? I made the mistake of putting up 4 game series to vote for when I started Mass Effect, and Mass Effect was the one that won, obviously. But I didn't think about it until you were just talking about it now. That was kind of a dumb idea to put up more than 2 options, because that game took up 6 months of my life. Yeah. I don't even remember the other game series that was on that list that was voted for.
No.
And that could potentially piss a lot of people off, because because I own all the Witcher games, for example, and I know a lot of people like the Witcher.
Dude,
If I put the Witcher,
games are gonna take you so long.
that's what I mean though. If I put the Witcher
It's not
games
even
on
the
there,
first two, it's the third Witcher game that's gonna take you
right,
forever.
right, and I
That's one of those-
also own all the Borderlands games, which also again a very long series. If I put the Witcher, Borderlands, the Hitman games, and Fallout all on there on the same voting poll, but only one of them wins, the other people who voted for the other 3 series are going to go, well, fuck, I guess I'll check in 8 months to see if he plays one of the other games. Like, that's going to piss a lot of people off.
I think the solution to that either has to come in the form of you take another stream slot and you turn it into a different franchise and you play 2 franchises at the same time.
Yeah.
Or you have to start alternating through games in franchises. So like I think the way to mitigate the initial problem that you're having with that is write down the finishing order of the poll. You already have a notebook that you use, like the Sherlock games, right? You wrote down all 12 in chronological order.
Yeah.
So if you were to do another poll with 4 games in it, and we'll go back to the example from earlier, BioShock, Alan Wake, Hitman, and Batman. So Alan Wake, BioShock, Hitman, Batman, that's the finishing order. If it somehow takes you 3 months to finish Alan Wake, by the time you finish it, you've forgotten about BioShock, so you end up playing Batman
Yeah.
or Hitman, and
Yeah.
then you finish Hitman, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, we were going to play BioShock. You go back to BioShock, and BioShock takes you longer than it maybe would have otherwise for whatever reason, and then you're like, oh yeah, shit, I want to play the Batman games, and then suddenly we're doing next year's New Year's episode, and you're like,
And all the
I was going
people,
to play Fallout this year.
yeah, and
Like,
all the people who
fuck.
voted for Batman on, like, for January, will it be January
January.
10th? Will be like, well, it's been almost 365 days and we still haven't seen Batman. But
Yeah,
I
so, like-
I also like the idea of, like, what we talked about though, of like clearly defining it based off the initial vote. So Alan Wake wins, it'll be Alan Wake. Then I say, okay, Batman Arkham, and then it'll be BioShock, then it'll be Hitman, then it'll be Fallout. If I clearly outline those for people, they'll be able to see the schedule, and this would actually probably be more beneficial given that Stephanie has opted to be my volunteer secretary, because I can send that list to her, and she can process that into my stream schedule.
Like for the next, like, let's just break out the games that you're playing right now that we know are on the horizon. So you've been playing solo leveling on Mondays. You've got
Well, actually, I'm supposed to be playing Neo on Mondays. Solo leveling was a
supposed to be
last
playing
minute
Neo on
thing.
Monday. Yeah, supposed to be playing Neo, but you've been playing solo leveling.
Right.
So the Monday time slot, we know at the very least that it's supposed to be Neo,
Right.
and there is an alternate game based on vibes.
Based on the content, if my cohort's available, because like that's Billy has issues with the weather the same way me and Zach do, like medically, and so the last 2 Mondays he's been down for the count by the time our 8 o'clock stream's supposed to start. So I've been like, okay, what do I do? So backup, a backup.
So yeah, you've got
fail-safe.
This is the game that we want to play. This is the backup game.
Yeah.
Tuesdays is usually a multiplayer game. If it's not, this is the backup game.
Yeah.
Wednesdays
Tuesdays
is the
has been
podcast.
RV there yet. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was supposed
so-
to be multiplayer, but we ended up finding ourselves in another story-driven game. Yes, it's a multiplayer game, but we ended up finding out, shit, there's actually a pretty in-depth storyline here with fucking Austin, the radio tapes you find, and then the ending of it, and we were like, oh shit, this is really intense. So that's what we've been doing. And then, yes, like you were saying, Wednesday, the podcast, which is a pivotal part of the stream for the week.
And then, so like your next game on Thursday is will be Ace Combat when that becomes a thing next week.
Yes, because
And
we're
then-
doing RV there yet tomorrow now because we didn't do it yesterday.
Yeah, and then Friday nights
Has been
are kind of
Half-Life.
is the Half-Life games. So, and then Saturdays are your franchise streams.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at games that you want to play for a little bit of time, like let's go back to the solo leveling example, RV There Yet ends, you don't have anything lined up. You know what? We're gonna do a month of solo leveling on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
We'll do 4 solo leveling streams, and then like if somebody is around that owns the game, like me or Matt, we play with you, or you just mainline the story, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And then when that month is done, you go, you know what? We're gonna throw it in the multiplayer rotation. And if somebody's around that has solo leveling, we'll throw it back in the queue.
I wasn't thinking of the
Like
month
Helldivers.
timeline, but I was kind of thinking, yeah, once I'm done the story, that could definitely go in the multiplayer rotation. Because I was looking at it and was like, you know what? Once RV There Yet is done, because we're working on the winter map now, I want to take one of those days, either Tuesdays and Thursdays, and turn it back into just a multiplayer hangout session.
Yeah.
I
think Friday nights should be the multiplayer hangout session.
Yeah, but I can't do that though because you're doing D&D, so you wouldn't be able to be there.
Yeah, but I'm not every other week.
Well, yeah.
To be fair, that's a little up in there. We're supposed to be playing. We're supposed to have D&D this Friday, and I straight up canceled it because I was like, "Hey, gang, let's play like a Jackbox game and let's just."
Oh,
hang
you
out.
did that again?
Here's a problem. I haven't written enough. We were talking about this before we started. I haven't written enough to finish that game. So I can't start running because they're in the last half of the campaign now. They're through chapter 6. They're starting chapter 6. There's only 10 chapters in that campaign. At the end of chapter 6, I have each chapter header with like in my red DM text in my Google Doc, this is what I'm thinking I'm going to do here. And then a blank space and the next chapter header. And then a red DM text. This is what I think I'm going to do here. A blank space and the next chapter header. And only chapter 10 has more than the red, this is what's going on in this chapter and this is how it's going to conclude because chapter 10 is the end of the game. I thought up the beginning and I thought up the end. And then I started going just like, this could be fun, this could be fun, this could be like just full ADHD brain, chapter by chapter by chapter. And I know my one roommate was actually in the office when I was writing it originally. And I had my whiteboard out and I was storyboarding the chapters as I went. I was like, this is how chapter 1 ties to 2. This is how 2 ties to 3. 3 ties to 4. I'm going to put a side quest in here. I'm going to put a side quest in here. I still have to write side quests for at least 2 of the party members. I haven't done that at all. And I want those done before they hit the halfway point of chapter 6.
Right. Okay, well, I can kind of help with that then. Since
we're gonna have to do a writer's room pretty quick.
Since I know that you want to be a part of the Mario Party Feywild game, what the plan is, I will state this right now on stream as like a 100%.
This is an open casting call.
That's no.
The D&D writers in the audience.
No,
I'm looking at you, rookie.
What this is this is a definitive schedule base. I will have the Mario Party Feywild D&D game set up and ready to go for when your game is done on Fridays. Then we can start streaming it. Streaming the Mario Party game on Fridays. That's what we'll lead into. When your game is done, we will start the Mario Party game. Because I know you want to be a part of it. So that kind of gives you a timeline to finish your game and a timeline for me to finish the Mario Party game. So yes, we will have to do a writer's room where you and me work together to finish yours. And then we'll lead into working on the Mario Party one.
I'm going to have one more chapter that is going to be like a 2-session chapter. And that's going to be chapter 7. And I already know what it's going to be. I'm not gonna red wedding the party, but I am going to we're gonna do like a ball episode where they go to a wedding reception.
Right.
From a character they've met before in the capital.
So
and then that's going to lead them into chapter 8, which is a courthouse.
Where
I put the party on trial.
When would you like to have this this campaign done by?
I'd like to be done it by the time Time Attack starts.
Which is in May. Okay.
Yeah, the first
So-
event for this season. Well, the calendar will be released next Thursday at the WSCC meeting.
Right.
But if I was done like May, June, maybe maybe July on the high end, I'd be stoked. That'd be so rad.
So that gives
'Cause,
us
like-
till essentially the beginning of summer for you and me to finish writing yours and finish writing the Mario Party.
Finishing most of yours too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll pull up the Google Drive with the document and I'll send you the edit link for it, so you can look at it. Anyone with the link can open it. Copy the link. I'm gonna send this to you right now before I forget.
Okay.
Docs.
But yeah, doing it that way with the Saturday schedule for like the series, kind of answering what Rookie asked about. He thought I was playing Fallout or Doom next. The reason why we are not going to do that is just because Chris made a point where I am going to get so brain dead on trying to digest all of the in-depth information, because I'm going from Mass Effect, one of the biggest game series, well, not biggest, but longest game series out there consecutively, to Fallout, which is another of the longest, or Doom, which is another one. I am going to get very sick of it very quickly, because I'm going to start looking at it as more of a fucking homework assignment than anything else. And that's kind of what happened between Dead Space and Metro, because they're both very in depth, and I don't want that to
Can
happen.
I ask a clarification question? Just because I'm pretty sure you've given me the answer to this at some point. So you want to play the Doom games, specifically the id Software ones, or all of them?
Specifically the ones that tell the storyline of Doom Guy. So I'm not going to be playing every single one ever made.
So just like the most recent three: Doom
Um,
2016, Doom: The Dark Ages, and Doom Eternal.
Hold on, I actually have the list, because there are other ones other than that do.
Well, I'm aware there's Doom 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing Doom 1, 2, Doom 2016, and Doom Eternal, and Doom the Dark Ages. So I'm going to be doing the original two, and then I'm going to be doing the three newest ones, like you said.
I think I would. So Rookie was asking, no classic. I would do the like the old Dooms, like the MS DOS, Windows 95 Doom games.
Isn't that Doom 1 and 2?
After yes,
Yeah.
I would do those after Half-Life. I would do the id games on their own. They tell their own story. They're not. The story overarcs, absolutely. It's all about Doom Guy. But I think if you were to play the id games, being Dark Ages Eternal and then Doom 2016, which is actually like the chronological order of those games. It's
Right.
backwards from release.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that isn't canon order. That's canon order to like him personally, but not the actual story of his life in a way. Because Doom 3, for
Rookie's-
example, well, no, because
Rookie
like,
is
well,
technically
because
right about that.
he said Doom 3. Doom 3, the reason why I'm not including it in there is because Doom 3 technically doesn't pertain anything towards the Doom storyline, because Doom 3 was literally just a horror / shooter. That was not anything to do with yeah.
Rookie in the chat is just hitting us with the facts here. Doom 3 is not Final Doom, which I'm aware of. I don't know if you're aware of that. There is a game called Final Doom that is technically mainline canon. I think to the point that I was trying to make is you've been playing Half-Life, which is a retro first-person shooter. I would go and play the classic Doom games after you finish the Half-Life games, and then leave the id games as the franchise. Because, like, maybe this is just my memory being really, really bad. I don't remember 1, 2, and Final having like a real story to them. I think that's just me. It's the same as like the old Wolfenstein games.
Rookie,
I
I
just don't
question your
remember-
taste in games because I've played Doom 3. It's not a good game.
He
So
says it's not a good game. Right there.
he said
Good honor.
he said it's not a good Doom game, but he said it's a good game.
You know what? I think for the time that answer is acceptable.
The
I
problem
will-
is
you know
that
what? The
they
jury
called
will
it-
consider the evidence presented.
The problem is that they called it a
That's
Doom
fair.
game, so it's not a matter of it being a good game when it was intended to be a good Doom game, but it wasn't because they fucked it up so badly. Anyways, the whole point of this,
Listen,
though, the whole point of
I would
this
like to-
was
Your Honor, I would like to present a piece of evidence to the crowd. Months ago, we said the same thing about Mass Effect Andromeda.
said the
we
same thing
said-
about what?
It's not a good Mass Effect game, but it is a good game. Granted, that was at the time. And we have hindsight now.
Yeah,
we know it
which is
wasn't a
why
good
I'm
game.
saying that. Because I have learnt my lesson, and I'm not going to run myself into that again. But to go back to Doom 1 and 2, like what you're saying, the reason why I want to do it as part of the series is because you said you don't remember if Doom 1 and 2 technically had a story, and they do in the same sense that Wolfenstein 1 and 2 had a story as well, and then it took how many years for them to pick that up again with Wolfenstein Return to Castle, Wolfenstein, and so on and so forth, you know, with like the New Order, the New Colossus, and all that stuff. Doom 1 and
I
2
think.
do
What was
have
the third Wolfenstein called? Was it Youngblood?
no,
Where you play
the
as his
third
twin daughters?
the third Wolfenstein the third fucking English hard. The third Wolfenstein was actually Wolfenstein 2, because Wolfenstein 1 was technically called the Spear of Destiny, because you infiltrate one of Hitler's research facilities to try and steal the Spear of Longinus. That came out before Wolfenstein 1, and that was technically the original where you play as whatever his name is from Wolfenstein. Spear of Destiny was its full-own standalone game. I think you have been getting too heavily into the mods, my boy. But
You know what? I would actually lean to Rookie probably is right about this, because Rookie's knowledge of video games is like,
well, no,
all
because
MS-DOS
Spear of Destiny started
crap.
as an arcade game. Spear of Destiny came out before any of the actual Wolfenstein games. When you look up the Wolfenstein games in order, Spear of Destiny used to come up before any of them, and it had an earlier release date than any of them.
I may be a history buff, but my major sure was not fucking video games. I'll
The
tell you that
biggest
much
the
for sure.
biggest reason why I say that is because my mother played the shit out of that game, and I couldn't figure out why it seemed so similar to Wolfenstein, and that's why I ended up looking it up.
Because it was a freeware reskin originally. Also, Rookie's statement actually made a lot of sense. So they do have stories, but not much. After each episode, you get a summary paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
That is familiar to me. I do remember that because it's an MS-DOS game. So you play through the whole game, and then at the end of the game, it's like, okay, here's what happened. Thanks for playing. This is what you did, broken into words, because we can't program voices into this. We've got 8 bytes of available storage on the floppy disk that we shipped on. Good luck. Yeah, no, I'm remembering that. I have remembered. I have become an ascended being. Anyways, the moral of the story here, Rookie, kind of what you missed as we were talking about it, is breaking up franchises in a way that when you get to the next franchise, it doesn't have like a wild overlap with the level of information presented to you. So like Alan Wake, Fallout, BioShock, Metro, and like there's a couple other games in which like you have to digest a lot of information in order to kind of understand what's going on. So like to keep the mentality fresh going into each one, rotating out the style of game for like, so you play something that has a complex story and then play something that's much simpler. Like even just gameplay style, like the Alan Wake games, there's a lot going on that's very heavily steeped in supernatural. And then you go to Batman. It's Batman, it's a comic book game. And then you play BioShock, which has a lot to like ingest, and it lets you think about a lot of things and like consider how the world wound up like that. And then you go play Hitman. And hey, guess what? You're Hitman the guy. And then you go play Fallout. And you get that fresh, you've just come off of I just go places and shoot people, and then you get to play like the funniest, most tongue-in-cheek franchise to ever really exist in Fallout. And like you come at it with a fresh brain every time instead of like, because the example that Will used was going from the Metro series to Dead Space, where it's like, look at all of this information and all of the story we're like really ramming you through. And then you go to Dead Space, which is like, look at all of this information in the story and this horror. It's like, it is what it is. But like, you can't, it's hard to play games like that back to back to back to back all of the time. Because you just like, mentally, you eventually just overload. You're like, I don't care about this anymore. Burnout is a bitch. And I would know because I work a lot. Also, according to my expert sources, Spear of Destiny is a prequel to Wolfenstein 3D and not a sequel at all. So, the more you know. Somebody put the Reading Rainbow in there. We'll get that in post. Burr, 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 burr. Round it out.
Just answering a message from Stephanie.
We're gonna round it out one more time. We'll hit. You know what?
But no, I'm excited. I'm excited to
funny story.
Okay, I'm excited
Continue
for I'm excited for what we have planned for the channel for this upcoming year. Like the series games are obviously the most pivotal thing that everybody looks forward to every week because that is the big in-depth story every week. The stuff that I do from Monday to Friday is just kind of, you know, here and there and have it as you will. The podcast, obviously, that's become a bit of a mainstay. No, because you mod them, and we already saw how fucked up Half-Life Decay is, and we haven't even streamed it yet. I'm just say that right now. I do not have the luck with modded games. Not doing it. But
he fixed Decay. That's good to
know.
know.
He said he was trying to. I have not gotten confirmation yet.
You just said it right there, Your Honor.
Okay, that's the first I'm hearing about it.
Listen, a modder's work is never done.
That's what concerns me about it. But no, like the Wednesdays, the podcast has become a mainstay. So like obviously that's the other, like not traditional, but like that's the other thing that people look forward to is tradition. Yeah, Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's what people look forward to.
With tradition.
Exactly. Wednesdays and Saturdays is the days that people look most forward to on the channel, I would think, because they, in a way, know what's going to be getting streamed consistently, but at the same time, they don't know what the content's going to be for Wednesdays, right? Because we talk about different things every Wednesday. But the consistency of what it is, they know what it's going to be, so they know what to look forward to. Mondays, especially right now, I never know if the weather's going to be, knocking Billy on his ass or if he's going to be good to go. Tuesdays, we don't know if Digital or Tony are going to show up in any given Tuesday, so it's kind of hit and miss. Thursdays, kind of the same thing. So, those three tend to be the kind of like bounce around days. Fridays, that's the one day of the week that I actually apply to myself for story-driven games. So Half-Life right now. And then I'll figure out what I'm doing after that, because after that I thought about like doing Thief or something, another single player story driven game that's only like got 1 or 2 games in its series rather than a whole shit ton. I might even do Dragon's Dogma 2, because I did Dragon's Dogma 1 last year. Like, it's been over a year now since I did that game, and Biggles finally got me Dragon's Dogma 2. So I can finally do that now. So I guess Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, those are the consistent days. Those are the days that people can really look forward to. They know aren't going to change. They're going to stay the same. They know what to expect. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, they can just kind of pop in here and there and be like, oh, what's he doing tonight? Oh, he's doing this. Okay, somebody must not have showed up. Or he's not streaming at all. Okay, maybe he's taking a night off. They're the part-time casual days. Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, those are the 100% full-time days. But what is your funny story? I'll let you percolate on it a little bit.
So, we're food guys. You know where I'm going with this. We were in a call when it happened. You weren't in the call for the original interaction that led to this being so funny for me. So, my roommates very frequently, when one of them is home, will order like a bunch of Chinese food. Now, I am one of those people. It's like, I gotta want to eat Chinese food. It's one of my favorite food groups, and it's delicious every time I have it. But like, gotta have that hankering, because like otherwise, I just can't believe that a chicken fried that rice. So they were talking about what they were gonna have for dinner, and I was like, I really wanted Chinese, and I was like, hey, would you guys want to go in on a Chinese order with me? We just order a bunch of food. And they were both like, no, we got kind of our own thing planned. I was like, that's valid. And I came back to my desk and I cried. And then I went to bed. And as I was laying in bed watching a show on my phone, I get a text from my grandfather. And my grandfather messages me. And he goes, this, because the timing on it was too perfect. He messages me at, I guess it was only 7:30 on Sunday night. He goes, have a question for you. We just had Chinese food tonight and have way more leftovers than we are ever going to need. Would you like them? And now I've been a sobbing mess over, shut up, rookie, over the fact I didn't get Chinese food. And I was like, man, I really want a Chinese, like I was honestly considering ordering a bunch of Chinese food just for myself. And I was like, no, I shouldn't spend money on dumb stuff. I'll save the dollars and I'll move on. He messages me, he's like, you want all these leftovers? And I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm going to get a couple like Chinese takeout containers with an assortment of items in them. Just like 1 or 2 small containers. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I'll come pick them up, whatever. No, we'll bring them to the house. It's fine. I'm like, okay. So I meet him here at the house Monday after work, 5:30. He rolls up, and my grandfather walks up to the door, and I open it. I'm like, hey, how's it going? We're talking, we're visiting. He goes, yeah, so, won't keep you because we're standing in the doorway. And he was like, before you get too cold, so here's your Chinese. And he hands me like a full-sized brown paper Chinese restaurant bag full of food. I got shrimp lo mein, spicy ginger beef, sweet and sour pork, chicken fried rice, and an egg roll. Actually, I think I got 2 egg rolls. I don't know. I ate them in one run. He said, here you go. And oh yeah, by the way, here's like another part of your Christmas present. This is a calendar. And I was like, golly, this is the best. Like, I don't care what the rest of my family says. You guys are all right. And so he takes off, and I come in, and I immediately pull out the shrimp lo mein, and I'm just chomping away. The moral of the story here is the comedic timing of my grandfather is hilarious. And I was like, this is the best day ever. And then I'm talking to my roommates about it, and they're like, where did you get Chinese food? And I'm like, my grandpa brought me leftovers.
I wanted it. The
And-
gods answered.
Sometimes the universe delivers. And
I used all my luck up on that one
yeah.
move.
and it's not delivery. It was skip the dishes.
It was delicioso.
It was Delicio. And so I was sat there eating this, and then both of them look at me and they go, aren't you glad we didn't order a bunch of Chinese food? Because imagine how many leftovers we would have had. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been eating Chinese every day for lunch. There's never too much
Does it ever
Chinese
get
food.
too
I
old?
was like, this is the best. And then I had lunch today, and it almost made me sick. And I was like, okay, no, maybe this is bad. I ate all of the spicy ginger beef and like most of the chicken fried rice.
Like, goddamn. I sat at work sweating.
Like, I've overcommitted gravely. And that's
So, what did you think of the song, Cobra?
Oh, I can't really listen to it while I'm doing the podcast.
Okay, good. Listen to it afterwards.
Okay. He sent me a
that
song.
was
He sent me a song about what he thinks about me.
I'm
It's 6 seconds. I kind of want to put him on blast and play it on stream now.
ban that motherfucker. Ban him right now. I don't know. It could be
Oh,
good.
fuck.
But that, I think, is all we got for this week. We're not going to listen to this on stream. We've made it too far to be canceled now.
Yeah, we've come too far.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for listening.
We hope you had a goof, had a laugh, had a time. We appreciate and love you all. Tune in tomorrow for some RV There Yet with the gang. Tune in on Friday for some Half-Life.
What?
Tune in.
Saturday
The Discord.
for whatever's voted for.
Tune in literally later tonight on the Discord for the vote for Saturday's
Yeah,
stream.
as soon as I turn this off, I'll be putting up the poll.
Yeah, the song is going to start in the Discord call, and the poll will be live. Vote for BioShock. If you don't, I'll cry. And
If you don't, I'll fucking find you.
I'll fucking- thank you, Rookie. See, I knew you'd be a BioShock man. Man of good taste.
Bioshoco.
And with that, I have my ways, Steph.
Oh yeah, you should keep
It
in
is
mind
Super
that
Half-Life.
Blue has. Actually, never mind. I'm not gonna say that on stream. Nope. I found something out about Blue in his Steam profile, so
Nice.
I'm not gonna say that on stream though.
Anyways, we're sorry that we just doxed Blue. You can check
Yep.
him out too on twitch.tv/Blue Devil Dragon.
Yep, and now
Usually-
Stephanie has her own Twitch channel.
And Steph's out here streaming twitch.tv/The Legend of Stephanie.
Like how he
For all
just
that
knew
hard-hitting. It's the
all
same
that hard,
URL link.
all that hard hitting Zenless Zone Zero.
All that hard hitting Zenless on Zero. Get you that good gotcha fix.
Get the
with the
gotcha
Legend of
fix.
Steph.
Yep. But
And some of the others of us stream occasionally. You can catch us at twitch.tv/Rookie G and
Yeah.
twitch.tv/The Last Majesty.
I think when we
For
do,
all of your occasional sporadic stream. I stream so rarely. I shouldn't. I don't
hey,
even
I'm
advertise
fine with it. I think though when you and me do the multiplayer games like It Takes Two, you should definitely stream on your channel while I'm streaming on mine. You should
I probably should.
100% do that because that it'll be so much better. Dual perspective.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, you're right on that one. Having access to like the master file for the VOD so I can pull it and send it to you when you want to cut it up for videos would be hilarious.
Yeah, we could honestly.
Might start with Arc Knights.
A good choice, I think. I'm a big fan of Azur Lane. for reasons.
Jesus, I haven't heard anybody bring that one up in a while.
Yeah, that's an old gacha game. That's where the hot chicks are battleships. Anyways,
Shut the fuck up.
I've been autism and he's been ADHD.
Yep.
Have a good night. Good love you. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.